Perfect. Perfect, Winston. I mean, I couldn't ask for a better intro. We are live, and apparently Buff Bagwell, who no one has heard of in 25 years, is talking or doing something. Winston
got his leg amputated.
Oh my God, that's horrible, Winston. The way you're setting this up. Poor Buff Bagwell.
2025 IRS tax returns now has open enrollment.
I've had enough of the both of you already. We haven't even started. Welcome back, everybody, to Capes and Cowls Chaos Edition. It is a good show here today. Lots of stuff that we got going on. Fantastic Four is already tracking, looking like it's doing decent numbers. Wonder how people are feeling about the numbers that it's getting. How's it going to do? But the buzz behind it seems to be decent. So we'll discuss that. We got some news on Wonder Woman. Apparently, the update is that they're looking for a TV actress. Does that put Adria Arjona in contention? The Punisher, the new special begins filming. Taika Waititi is going to do a Dredd movie. We got so much to talk about. And Koi Janjo back with the show today. And I was wrong about Koi. I was wrong. And I'll admit it to him. I said last week that he was one of the good ones when it came into coming early. He showed up about a minute before we went live. Winston was in 10 minutes today, early. So Winston is in the good graces today. Koi sucks. No, I'm just kidding. Koi's great. So let's get into it, everybody. This is the Capes and Cowls Kristian Harloff Show. Let's get into it. Cool. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the show. It's Kristian Harloff Show. It's Friday, Capes and Cowls, baby. We haven't been able to do a full-on Capes and Cowls in a little bit. It's been me and Winston holding down the fort. There's Winston A. Marshall, because this character's been busy. Koi Jandro doesn't show up for 2 shows, and everybody thinks we got beef. We don't have beef.
I thought you had beef.
I got scheduling beef.
Scheduling beef. Where is the beef? They should bring that commercial back. Anyway, so it's good to
have a space connect today.
Well, I won't be. I'll be more focused in a second. You know why? Let's just get into it, guys.
Let's do it.
We'll talk about it right away. I'll be focused, and why will I be focused? Because I've told you so many different times about Magic Mind, and I'm so excited because you guys love Magic Mind. We love Magic Mind. And I'll tell you, I'm glad that Magic Mind is sponsoring this show because they reached out to me a little, not too long ago. We're working with them now for over 2 years, but recently they said, hey, we want you to try a few of these shots and see how they work before we want to, before we sponsor it. And it's great if we love it, and we do love it, and guys love it. And they got the Max formula, they got the free formula, they got the original. The original is that's what I love. That's the one that I've been using all the damn time. Here we go. We'll do that right now. So we'll hear from the guys which ones they like. But let's do it. Oh, I love it. Orange juice. Anyway, I recommend it. And Koi, you definitely get focused in. Why do you love it so much?
I'm a sipper, man. I like even the Max flavor. I like the robustness. I like that I can have a morning Max and then I can have a mid-afternoon free. And then sometimes I tuck into bed with a nice cup of Joe. I stay at a level of caffeinated that's both aggressive, dangerous, but also delicious. But it never crashes. Like I'm never in a position.
No jitters.
Yeah, I'm never in a position of like danger. Like sometimes you have too much coffee, like pure coffee, you feel like irritable or anxious. Right. This is just a nice focused ride.
Yeah, it's smooth. Winston, I forget. Are you the Max? Is that the one?
I mean, I use them all pretty interchangeably, but the Max has become my favorite now. It's actually, I remember when they said it before that the original wasn't meant to replace your cup of coffee. The Max can, and it does exceptionally well. Like I take that in the morning. And I'm straight, man. And if, like Koi said, if I need a little extra pick me up, I'll hit the original. But typically, I'll just hit a free. It's fantastic.
It's so good, and I love what they're doing right now. This is like a really massive thing that they have going on. It's like the biggest discount that they have given. So our audience will get 60% off their first subscription through the link that we have up there, and make it even easier. I got a QR code for everybody too, which is the best for these guys. So I love Magic Mind. Here it is. Check that out. They're just the best. They're absolutely the best. So make sure you check them out. We love Magic Mind. Okay. Coy, how the hell you been, man?
Whirlwind.
I know.
Promoting a film is somehow more exhausting than watching one. I've had a great journey with Superman. It's been a very predictable, sudden realization of people that, working at DC, and they're calling my integrity into question. But it's been a really beautiful thing to have a movie that I was so heavily anticipating actually be something I loved. The joy and pure glee that I got every time I've seen the film 3 times. Every time I watch the movie, it is like euphoria. It's what I hoped I would have. So it's been really wonderful. It's been the opposite of being on the internet, which I continue to doubt is sustainable. So I love the film, and I'm really excited to talk at least some with you guys about it. I know we're kind of out of that window, but I had a hell of a time.
Yeah. This is what I would say. And I think I've noticed this recently, and I saw a few of our friends, mutual friends and things too. I think it is really, really tough for people, because I saw people who we both know, they're saying, like, when they're watching the movie, they're thinking about social media reactions. And I'm like, I feel so bad that that's where they're at. And it's like, I've been able to just separate that stuff completely. I don't pay attention to any of it. I'm hardly on Twitter, maybe ever. I just post stuff in general. And I like to have the conversation with the audience that we're having here too. I think that the fact that that's going to take away from, your experience, I think that you need to shut down from social media for a bit. If social media is in your head that much about it, you need to just get away.
It's more the internet at large, like even like just now, like someone asking in the chat, like, you work for DC, isn't that a conflict of interest? It would be if they didn't say I could say what I wanted. It's more about just the ability to have other people that I don't know talk to me that I don't like.
Yeah, fair enough.
You don't like the public.
Well, what's funny is that I saw your explanation, and Winston and I talked about it last week, because again, I don't want to hammer it down because the audience knows right now I'm just not on board with the Supergirl thing yet. But hearing Winston, hearing Chris Carr explain about what the storyline is, I could very much go back into that scene and go, oh, okay, that makes sense. But for me, the Supergirl scene just didn't work for me at all.
That's the part that's hard, and I've obviously I quite didn't get to see your reaction specifically about Supergirl, but that's the part that's hard. That, like, for those of us that are directly connected to the content like that, it kind of falls in the same camp as a lot of the movie of, like, this is a comic book aficionados movie. Like, it put so much in there and was so true to a lot of the stuff. I can understand, Kristian, how it could be somewhat off-putting if you are not aware of that's just how the character is, and then there's a massive amount of growth through the Woman of Tomorrow storyline. So, Coy, I'm just curious what your thoughts were, and kind of how you, I guess Kristian was saying you were explaining in another video.
No, yeah. It was the same thing you guys said, but as they reference. It's like Coy has reference and knew. You could tell, like, he knows. He said this is the perfect. I know right where that leads into. So for him, if I had the kind of knowledge that Coy had for that storyline, I probably would have loved the scene.
Actually, a perfect comp for me was, you mentioned someone in, I think it was the Acolyte, like a character that like appeared
Plagueis, yeah.
Plagueis, like that guy popped up, and you were like, oh, and I was like, boogeyman guy, like,
right.
It is exactly a moment where I was like, that's exciting for some people. I think what's difficult is, I think her introduction is such a great nature nurture commentary, and I think that's what Supergirl can be. I think when they originally wrote Supergirl, it was actually more of what people have a problem with in today's, like, complaining about woke society, is they made Supergirl just Superman, but a lady. And for a long time, it was all the things that people complain about in our pop culture. So instead of doing that, they're trying to ensure she is her own character by making her one of the more extreme takes on the character. But in doing that, a lot of people that don't have exposure, haven't seen the film yet, are going like, why would she be drunk? And those elements I also totally understand, but I think it's a lot healthier to lean into the difference in Clark and Kara is one got to know Krypton and lost it. One literally never knew what they lost. And one was actually raised by people in an environment that wouldn't be as conducive to Earth. One was raised on a farm in Kansas. So I think the more you can make them feel different, the better. So I personally love the scene with the context, but also with what they're doing by having Superman make choices. That whole speech from Pa Kent about choice, that continues into Kara. It also is elaborating on why, Krypto's such a mutt that doesn't behave. Like, they set up that scene throughout the film through Krypto, and then they're separating Clark by a bit more. But if you don't know the character in that format, I could see the context of that's not my Supergirl being a thing. But once it's explained, hopefully people get on board.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even go that far as saying she's not my super. I don't have enough game tape to say she's not my. I just need to. I'm just telling you.
It was just off-putting.
I'm just telling you the initial thing. Like, I love her. I think she's a great actress. People just misread it when I was saying like, oh, you don't think she should be troubled? I said, I never said that once. I said I haven't seen the story that they're about to present, especially with the director that they're going to bring it in. I really like him a lot too. So to see what the story is, I said many times over, I could go back, revisit that scene after having the reference of the film and go, oh, well, that makes a lot of sense now to me. But because all the people who are defending it, at least in these comments, are people who are familiar with the story and are familiar with where she's going. So we'll see. But Superman is in the rear view right now. It's in the rear view at the moment. It's going to have a week 2, and I'm telling you right now. I say because I don't know if you guys know, but I have a. We'll talk first. We'll bring up Roca because that's who you guys are chasing. You guys are the last ones on the board to try to beat Roca. He has 137 right now. You guys are already at 19, which is good. I've deemed Brett and Chris Carr the bad news bears of this game.
Oh, damn.
But you guys right now are at 19, former champions looking to try to get a win over Roca this week. So we'll see if that happens. But speaking of Roca, we had all discussed many times over the box office stuff that was happening with what we thought of the big 3 in July, right? I have been, as you guys know, adamant that I thought that Jurassic World was going to be probably the winner overall because of the international clout that dinosaurs have. Roca and I bet 2 weeks ago that Jurassic World wouldn't even clear 700, and I said, "You want to go double or nothing?" And because he already owed me a steak dinner, so Roca's about to owe me a steak dinner. Because another one,
dude, come on, Roca.
Because that is easily going to make another 25 to 30. They're saying the drop off is so small. We got to see what Superman's box office is because this is Superman's last weekend to really make a big dent, because after Fantastic Four, it's competing business. Do you agree, Winston?
Yeah, they gotta go now, especially just because it sounds like people are pretty amped up about Fantastic Four. I mean, and that's the whole thing. It's like Superman has done well, and the movie is good. There are competing opinions about that one way or the other, but if they want to even sniff 750, they've got to go ham this weekend. Right. And the one thing I think working in their favor, though, people will still go see Jurassic World, but even with the hey, it's dinosaurs, I can't speak to international, at least domestically, everybody that I know that's not in the movie space that went to see it was like, bro, there's like no dinosaurs in it. I still haven't seen it. I don't want to see it. But then people have been like, there ain't no dinosaurs. They're in there for like 5 minutes. I don't even like this. So maybe it'll slow down. I don't know. I think he'll still beat Roca, but I think that might help Superman get a little bit more this week.
Domestically, maybe, but internationally, Superman is cooked as far as internationally goes. There's just it just didn't hit you. We went over the numbers. It had opening weekend. It did like in China, I think it did like 6 million or something like that. In China, 7 million, something small, and like
that's it.
Jurassic did like 60 or something. So it did not do well internationally. It's domestic where Superman's going to continue to make its money. But Coy, Fantastic Four, it's right around the corner. Are you hearing anything about the movie? Any buzz about it at all?
I've heard it has some third act polarization. I hear some people love the third act, some people don't. So polarization, I think, is a better way to express it. But I'm curious what that means for, setting up Doomsday, if that's what it is. I haven't seen the film yet, but everyone I know that's seen it has been like, odd little bit at the end there. And some people are like, yeah, and some people are worried how it's going to translate. My main thing is, with the movie being so important, will it do what Thunderbolts couldn't, which is be both good and a box office success? I think it could be a big box office success, but will it be the movie that some of the trailers has like, it feels so big and it feels like it could be so incredible, but then I hear stuff and I'm like, I don't feel that event fervor like I used to with summer Marvel movies. And I want to walk out of the theater feeling like I'm not feeling right now walking into the theater, if that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. I've heard, there's only been, and we'll get to the first reactions, everything. Let's just bring it up now because there's a couple of people. I mean, I think it was Robert Meyer Burnett actually who said he had heard some stuff
about it, but like, here is the article right now, comic book movie, and they're talking about Fantastic Four: First Steps to Eyes 110 opening as glowing first reactions arrive alongside the soundtrack. Fantastic Four: First Steps is fast approaching, and as analysts predict, a 110 million start for Marvel's first film at the domestic box office. We have some early reactions and the full soundtrack. Stop that. The Fantastic Four: First Steps arrives in theaters next weekend, and according to Deadline, the next Marvel Studios movie is currently eyeing a 100 million to 110 million start. Trade puts it, I keep hearing, oh, Disney is nervous, but the stats look good. With 13 million pre-sales as of Monday, Fantastic Four is pacing ahead of the pre-sales for Thunderbolts, which was 74.3, and Captain America: Brave New World at 88.8 in a 3-day, and 20% behind Superman, which came in at 125. So for those who care about that kind of thing, it does appear that Superman's domestic opening will be bigger than Fantastic Four: First Steps. Marvel Studios has a week to give the movie a final push, and the MCU is likely to perform better than Superman overseas. So we'll see what happens. First critic reactions for the Fantastic Four: First Steps arrived late on Monday, but film pundit Robert Meyer Burnett has shared on X. So my buddy in distribution saw the movie today and he loved it. The film is completely self-contained in its own universe. The opening 10 minutes will leave comic readers with a huge smile on their faces. He said all the cast were great, and he reluctantly admitted Pedro is Reed. His account was backed up by @ViewerAnon, who wrote, so I've followed up on this and heard back from a couple of people who've also seen the final cut. And yeah, I heard pretty much the same thing as RMB. Everybody seems to really like it, notably even those that aren't big comic book fans. Fantastic Four: First Steps is picture locked, so TV spots have started to showing updated finished scenes, yada, yada, yada. I don't really want to look at the soundtrack thing, because sometimes it gives away stuff, sometimes it doesn't, but I don't want to do it. Anyway, so what do you got?
Most people know that I've been gone this week to check on my dad, so I didn't get a chance to finish editing my Fantastic Four video. But based off of even some of what Coy was saying, some of that article, I think that my theory video is probably spot on, and I'm very excited for it. So I'm hoping to get that done by tomorrow. If not, y'all, it will be out first thing Monday. Check it out before all of the screenings happen and you get all those. I think I've got this nailed to a T, honestly.
I'll tell you, got nailed to a T is somebody at a Coldplay concert. All right, so
hey, Christian, please tell me you saw that tweet that said Coldplay hasn't made a single in years and they just made 2 last night.
I saw that. How dare they blame him?
Dude, he tried to be like, oh, can you just let us have a private moment? Can you not notice that the Jumbotron is on, you dumb?
And by the way, he's like, look at this loving couple dancing to my music.
He was being sweet. Like, he wasn't trying to also like have a private moment at a 10,000 person section of a 100,000 person concert.
Bro, if you
blame him.
Do you understand that there are entire hotels that devote themselves, and if you want to go be sketch? Also, that dude made enough money, he probably could have paid Coldplay to come and play for the two of them. So kiss my ass.
That dude is the definition of what they call in most parts of the world an imbecile.
Dude.
Imbecile. He's a former billionaire.
He's about to lose it all.
Former billionaire. His wife, soon to be ex-wife, is a current billionaire. What a buffoon.
Dude,
an absolute buffoon.
Dude, and the best part is somebody is saying that because you know that the girl sitting next to him who was cheesing, that's the VP of HR. She had just gotten promoted from the woman that was there.
I got a promotion.
Yeah.
I got a promotion.
Well, no. She just got promoted to VP.
No, she knew she got promoted to president.
Probably, but someone was saying they think the only reason, because this I guess happens sometimes in corporate spheres, the only reason that they brought just her because she already knew all that is that they were trying to get her to join the two of them that night too. Is the rumor going around?
It sounds like a human resources problem and solution. That sounds like a whole lot of human resourcing.
Hey man, chief people officer.
Bad hiring on the HR department there. Anyway, I don't even know how the hell we got down that road. But nonetheless, we're talking about Fantastic Four. We're talking about what's going on with that movie as far as what we hear. As Coy said, he heard from some people that didn't think it was that great at the end. Then they had that Brazilian Comic-Con, I think it was, where the first 30 minutes, everybody said it was like some of the best stuff they've seen since Endgame.
I have heard that. I've heard the beginning is astounding, and I
Right.
especially like the opening sequence. I hear is the greatest.
Okay, so that's encouraging, right? Alone, and when do you guys see it?
Monday.
I see it on Monday as well.
I see it on Thursday.
Okay. So I'm seeing it on Monday. I'm seeing it, I think, Coy, your time, 3 p.m. But the social embargo lifts like at like midnight my time. So
yeah, the premiere screening starts at 8. So I think the social embargo is when that ends at 10 p.m. Western.
That makes sense. So be interesting to see what the first reactions are for that film. I'm taking Matt Serra with me.
Nice.
That one, that's gonna be.
I saw his Grillo interview. I was pretty solid.
Good, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty solid.
Grillo in the jacuzzi.
Yeah, just vibing, man. I love those two.
He had blown out his shoulder or something. I think that's why he was in the or something. He had hurt. I don't know if he was
He was like literally boxing after the premiere and then got hurt and recovery. I love that man.
He's the best. Well, anyway, so I think 115 is pretty accurate, right? I think what we're looking at here, and I think that, and I also think what they said. I think internationally, I think this movie is going to do better than Superman. I think domestically, though, it's going to be on par. I just don't think Marvel has the firepower that it used to, with or without Pedro Pascal, which I think is going to help. But Coy, I don't know. Do you think domestically this is going to do pretty well?
I think it's going to do pretty well. I think I don't think it's going to be Marvel numbers of a bygone era. I do think we're in a different expectation phase, and I think we should be in a new expectation phase between the pandemic and the strikes and the way people go to the movies. That has changed. And I think it's really tricky to compare any box office numbers to 2022, much less 2018. Every chunk of time has markedly shifted box office. So I'm excited for Fantastic Four. I'm going to compare it to a post-pandemic number set. But I think it's going to do well in that comp. I think it's going to do domestically, as you said, probably about as well as Superman. It is weird that it doesn't feel like – it felt more like an event when it was ramping up than now. Like I don't have that like, oh my God, I'm seeing a Marvel movie on Monday. But I also feel like once I'm there, it's going to be that like pure adrenaline and hype. It's just – marketing, this one's been tricky. I've also heard the last 2 weeks of marketing, they've just given away the cow. So I've stopped watching anything. Like I don't want to know the end of the movie. And apparently the marketing's turned to that mode. So I'm curious how that translates because I know a lot of people love that. Like a lot of people love spoilers. So maybe they're I think they're kind of counting on the TikTokers to get them over the finish line by being like, this means this means this. And I don't know if that gamble's going to work if it costs them the movie.
What do you think, Winston?
I think Coy's hit something in particular that, I know that we are past the previous era of, inconsistency, but I don't think that we've gotten to a place yet of trust. So I think that if it truly is good, especially with a property that's a little more known and respected than the Thunderbolts, no disrespect to them, but obviously people didn't really know that team very well. Plus you've got, not to say that I don't love Florence Pugh and David Harbour and all that kind of stuff, but you also have a bona fide movie star in Pedro Pascal. At least at this point, he's crossed that threshold.
Yeah.
I think all of that collectively gears them up to do well, but you need that to then right the ship and really feel like we're on the right track. Because even for the stuff that did well this year, there were other things because they were still kind of purging what was left, dragging it down. So like, I personally liked Ironheart. I know some people didn't, but I know that feels like it was dragging things down a little bit. Like some people really liked Brave New World. A lot of people didn't. That was kind of dragging things down. So I just think now that we are kind of free and clear, you need a little bit of consistency to be like, okay, baby, Marvel is truly back. And then I think that hype of it's time, it's go time will finally be here again. And I that's just it. We haven't had the consistency yet to just be like, yep, let's bankable. This is a bankable thing.
Yeah, I think we get at least Marvel gets a quality win for me if this movie is as good story wise, and if I'm as invested as I was in Thunderbolts, because I would just be back to back and showing since the quality over quantity thing since they started that. Because I'm watching it with Sam and I right now. We just finished Loki season 2, and then we ended Loki season 2 yesterday, and then we went right into the Marvels right after that. It was as painful as I remembered it to be. and even worse.
Jesus.
And I'll tell you this: I didn't say a word. I made it seem like, oh man, I'm having fun with this one as I'm watching it. If I didn't have the window locked, Sam would have jumped right out of it. But either way, that was where they were, and then they started to jump back a little bit more, and I think they're starting to right the ship. And as we've all said, the three of us were all most excited about Superman this year for sure, and that's because Koi's a DC show.
Yeah, and I had to be. It was like, I've actually got a tattoo that I had to be the most excited about. When Supergirl comes out, I got to add to the tattoo. It's going to get really difficult. Reaches the hole.
Yeah, you cross out Spider-Man and
oh god, so painful every summer, every June, July.
Man. That's it. So, but either way, you know, I have seen the trailers for this one, and I've been a little bit more interested in it. Opposite to Koi, I think Koi is a little more
reticent with the more I see, but I'm still hopeful to be proven wrong. Like I love the Fantastic Four so much, and I love what Marvel has more than not given me. I think Marvel is still batting 700. I just think they were batting 900 sports like 5 years ago. So I think, you know, it's a little different expectation.
Know what that means?
It means 7 out of 10 hits.
Yeah. Well,
right?
Maybe. Either way. I do think there's a shot though that this movie, I think it's less likely that this movie underperforms the predictions and more likely that it overperforms it. I will say that.
I mean, it's funny because there was a last minute debate with Superman about them, you know, it was mainly Rocha complaining about this, but the idea that Gunn was like, you know, we don't have to hit 750. Like, I think we put a good movie out and I think it'll do well. And I think what that was both A, not be like, we've got $1 billion movie here, so then you look like you have egg on your face, but then also B, it's not because you thought the quality was bad. You were like, I am more excited to see people enjoy this art and let come what may. It doesn't mean the money wasn't important, but like focus on promoting it versus setting yourself up for people to like come at you.
But we'll kind of go off the path of the box office and go more into the idea of what the story and the quality will be and how important it is for them to really set up, because this is, you know, it's right before the next Spider-Man movie, but it's really not going to play too much into that movie. And more so, this is really a setup for us to care about Doomsday. So, Koi, what do they need to do creatively to really get casual audiences and Marvel hardcore fans on board in this story to really lock them in?
I think Marvel needs to establish a new set of varsity, like A-list players. Yeah. I think this needs to be, we talk a lot about movie stars. We talk about opening movies. We talk about the characters that are like A-list versus B-list. I think Marvel right now hedge their bets a bit on the brand being stronger than the awareness of the characters. And for a time that worked. I think that big red Marvel logo was a guaranteed hit for a time, and it was beautiful, and I loved it as a comic fan. It was amazing to talk to my grandma about Thanos. That was insane. Mm-hmm. But there reached a point when, I think because of bad management above Feige, where they were basically that piece of beautiful thick paper became tissue paper and got broken through. Like, it wore down. And now the characters have to be first and foremost, because movie stars don't exist in the same way anymore. It was a movie star era for a long time. Then there was this IP era. And then for a little bit, there was a studio recognition era. We saw it with Marvel. We saw it with Pixar. We saw it with A24. I think still there are spikes in it, but the studio itself, that name isn't as strong as the IP needs to be. So I think what they need to do is they need to establish not only the F4 as the prominent, like, holy crap, but these individual characters within Doomsday all have to shine enough that they feel like they bring their A-team back, because there aren't Avengers right now in a movie between movies. Like, usually we have an Avengers moment. This kicks off phase 6. This needs to be a huge swelling. If we didn't culminate in something, because unfortunately Thunderbolts didn't do as well as it needed to, we need to launch with something. So creatively, I think all of these actors need to be revered to the point where it's exciting to see them. And I think the movie needs to do very well as an event film. And it does, then we're golden. And I hope it does.
What do you think, Winston? You think that Marvel needs to create some rock stars out of the Fantastic Four?
I absolutely. I mean, there is, you know, one of our videos that did pretty well as a short. It's been over a year, maybe 2 years or something, where we were talking about Marvel doesn't have their all-star team right now, and they don't have their starters. And I think that's kind of what you need is going into this, like, as much as, again, people like the Thunderbolts team, the box office is enough to tell you that that's not enough of a draw. So
Right.
you need the Fantastic Four, which is a name that a lot of people globally truly know.
Mhm.
You need people to go in here, have hopefully their expectations of, the Fantastic Four movies of the past that have been, okay at best, but typically subpar or bad. You need to be able to wipe that slate completely clean and go, this is it. This is the Johnny Storm I've been looking for. This is the Reed I've been looking for, etc. And be so excited about that then when Reed, who is known for having a massive role in Secret Wars, both before and during its actual playing out, I mean, the whole family, but specifically Reed, you want people to be that geeked out about it. And you
Right.
want them to lean into Pedro Star Power and Vanessa and Evan Moss Baccarat, all of them. You need people to want to lean into that and want to make this an event they have to go and see, especially if you want Doomsday and Secret Wars to work.
What do you guys think? Fantastic Four right around the corner. You getting hyped for it? You're going to see it? You're going to check it out? Or are you going to go watch Superman again? Or are you going to be one of those people just wanting to see dinosaurs eat grass? Put your thoughts in there. Let us know. We have a lot of other stories to talk about. So much. Before we do that, just tell you guys about Trade Coffee. And I told you I had cold brew now. I didn't know. Coy doesn't know that. Coy, that cold brew coffee now, Trade Coffee. I'm so excited about that.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'll tell you about that, and then I've been telling you all week about Turtle Beach, but let's talk about Trade and Turtle Beach. Here we go.
I know how much you guys love Trade. Well, if you didn't already, you're going to love them even more. Cold brew now. This is what they got. For me, I love drinking cold brew. I used to rely on the old grocery store concentrate of the $6 cafe runs, and it's tough, mostly out of what I thought. I thought it was convenient. But as you know, I found Trade. I love Trade. It's so easy now just to make cold brew at home. Plus, it tastes way better, and it costs so much less than buying out. Trade. What's Trade? You know Trade, but I'll tell you again, Trade is the #1 coffee destination in the U.S. for both hot and cold coffee drinkers. They've sourced the best beans from top roasters across the U.S., and now they have a special cold brew collection. You got to check it out. They've teamed up with 15 roasters to create a special cold brew bean collection. It ensures your cold brew at home tastes exactly how it should, smooth and delicious. I love it. I'm telling you, it is so much easier. It has been so convenient. I mean, how long have I been talking about Trade? 2 years? And I don't talk about somebody that long and stay with them that long if I don't love them and fell in love with them. And that's what I love. Limited time, Trade is giving 50% off a month of cold brew. Did you hear that? 50% off. That's over 60 cups of cold brew for 50% off when you go to drinktrade.com/Christian. That is drinktrade.com/Christian. Get 50% off 1 month of cold brew. drinktrade.com/Christian. People keep reaching out to me and keep telling me about how much they love Turtle Beach. And I said the same thing I say every time someone says that. I say, I told you just so. It's the best. I love Turtle Beach. It just enhances your gaming experience in general. I told you guys I was playing Indiana Jones, and I love the game so much. And I wonder if one of the reasons I love it so much is because of Turtle Beach and the headset that I have. It's so good. It just brings back the feeling of the old school kind of gaming. This Gen 3 Stealth 700 headset that they have, it's really like stepping into the golden age of gaming all over again. But with the catch that this time, the audio is richer. The surround sound's more immersive. The battery lasts an insane 80 hours. No more crackly mics, no more missed call-outs, just pure uninterrupted gaming exactly the way you remember it, but better. It's the best. What I love about Turtle Beach is not just the headsets. They have every gaming accessory you could ever want, and they're all high quality at prices that don't break the bank. From flight racing simulators to controllers, keyboards, and mice, Turtle Beach is the ultimate gaming cheat code. So this is what you do. You head to turtlebeach.com. Use that code Christian for 10% off your entire order. 10% off your order at turtlebeach.com with that promo code Christian. You're going to purchase it. They're going to ask you, they say, hey, where'd you hear about us? You say, Christian told us about it. Please support our show. Tell them that we sent you. Get the ultimate immersive gaming experience with Turtle Beach today.
I mean, I'm giving you deals. Trade, Turtle Beach. I keep getting people telling me that they're doing it, so I can't really chastise you guys because you're doing it. You're being smart. All right, guys, letting you both know right now, currently, you both stand at 28. It's pretty damn good. 28 before, and we're not even about a half an hour away in order to catch Roca. You need 137 to tie. I'm calling an audible. I was going to do a few other stories, but our mutual friend, our good buddy Josh Horowitz, texted me before the show went live, and he said, listen, just letting you know, I'm dropping a James Gunn interview at 2:00, and there's a lot of juicy bits in there. And I said, perfect. We're doing Capes and Cows, so that's good. I'm going to start with this one. I haven't even watched it yet. So let's see if I can get, you guys, make sure I have you guys. There we go. All right. So let's play this clip. This is about Batman. So I'll play this Batman clip. I don't know what it is. No idea. Here we go.
Matt Reeves did deliver the script.
Yeah,
and we know you read it and you seem very pleased.
I like it. Yes.
So on track for that release date. We feel like now we're headed in the right direction.
Oh yeah, for sure. We're headed in the right direction. So there's some things we still got to work out, but like it's headed in the right direction for sure.
So look, we've had this conversation before, but I'm going to bring up the Batman DCU stuff like again. So like obviously Brave and the Bold we know is being written, and the DCU Batman is still intended to be a different Batman than Rob. I guess my question is like timeline wise, like how does this work? Like is there I presume you wouldn't want to release Brave and Bold and the Batman 2 in the same calendar year. It like starts to get a little confusing, or no? You tell me. I mean, having two Batman running around at the same time.
Probably not.
Oh,
but
interesting.
Yeah, probably not. No.
Okay.
Probably not the same calendar year. Yeah.
Okay.
Is Brave and Bold when you think we'll see that Batman for the first time?
I'm not going to say that.
Okay. Have you gotten into casting yet in your head?
No. Why are you winking at me? That's weird.
What do you think about the fans that talk about someone like Alan Ritchson?
I am a big Alan Ritchson fan, both as an actor and as a guy. Let's just wait to see what happens.
Okay. I guess my only other thing I'll say on that front, and then I'll move on, I promise, is again, and you can say anything you want or nothing at all, but like when you're casting that role, it would seem to me you have to differentiate in some substantial way the take on Batman so it doesn't get confusing, right? Like whether it's a different age, a different vibe, something. Is that in your head? Like when
That's
we get there?
That's always going to be the case.
Yeah.
What two Batmans have the same vibe?
Well,
Clooney and Kilmer.
That's fair. Okay.
I mean, but they're the same director.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like
it's dictated by the material and the take.
The material, the take.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
The actors, the actors aren't important.
We're nothing else.
No, listen, do I ever think about it? Sure, there's people out there I think about, but let's see where the script comes in.
Okay.
It's not the furthest along thing. I mean, we have things that are much, much further along than
Okay. Let's talk about the further along. Supergirl's in the can.
Supergirl's in the can.
Commercial. Good place to take a break.
Cool.
All right. So good place to break. We'll go back in a minute. Again, big interview there for Josh Horowitz as he's discussing that. Winston, what do you make of those comments?
I think that a lot of stuff is decided, and I think that James Gunn got caught for like half a second of like, let me make sure I don't give too much of the farm away. It kind of read like certain things have been taken care of, but he genuinely is like, I need to be careful because that is not the game plan to talk about that right now. So that's what that read to me personally. I don't know if you guys felt a little bit differently, but it felt like I knew you were going to ask this, but I still got caught a little bit unprepared to not immediately divert. So,
Boy, what'd you read from this, and what can you say?
I read that it is the 167th confirmation of the year about Matt Reeves being separate. I'm glad that he's in a position now with the script being turned in to just be like, as I've said, separate. Just because, that is what I wanted as a fan was separate, but also what I want as someone that reports on this stuff, both on their set and on my own. I think it's very important to distinguish, like, a rumor can go as far as you want someone to lie, but when you have someone that's actually in charge saying like, this is how it's going to be, it just feels good to hear it with like periods. And I also think, he is a script first director. He's a script first producer. He's a script first overseer of a universe. I don't think he has anyone singularly in mind until the script is finished. And I think that is a much healthier way to cast than by having previs on a movie that isn't done yet, like other studios do at times, and putting actors' faces in, and then you kind of wrap it around the actor.
Right.
Instead, cast an actor as if it were any other movie that wasn't a shared universe. Get the script in, decide who would be right for that take. And that's what, to me, it sounds like he's doing. To me, it doesn't mean no to Alan Richardson. Doesn't mean yes to Alan Richardson. It means script.
I say this as a big fan of Alan Richardson. I hope it is a no to Alan Richardson. The guy is 6'4". He's a jacked monster. Standing next to David Corenswet, he's going to look the same.
You only use him if you're going to do absolute Batman, in my opinion.
Maybe, and I guess that goes to Coy's point of let's see where the script is, and maybe they make it to where they're going to make this Batman a big jacked monster, and if that's the case, then Alan Richardson's perfect for it. It has nothing to do with his acting ability. It's not as far as likable. I love Alan Richardson. I think he's great. I'd like to see him in the DCU. I just don't think he's Batman. I just don't. I think he's a big, jacked dude that could kick the piss out of Superman and doesn't need technology to do it.
I personally like him a lot, and I like Jack Reacher more than I expected to, but I also think there are characters that visually are a scale that need to be bigger than other characters. And I'm not even talking about Batman, I'm saying in the DCU. If you cast someone like Alan Richardson as a human, you got problems casting anything else. Like, it causes problems going in all directions. I like the dude a lot, but I do think that visually that's not a Batman that can work inside of Justice League, because then who do you cast as bigger than Batman?
And look, Corenswet's not a small dude. He's 6 foot. He's probably the same height as Richardson, but like Superman should be imposing to Batman. That's the whole point. So Batman,
Or I was just gonna say, or at the very least, Batman should have a similar physique. We just know that obviously there is more behind Superman. Like you said, if Batman looks too jacked, the only way that really works is either A, again, absolute Batman because of what they've decided to make with him, or B, the Dark Knight Returns, who is this old man that is also insanely jacked from the reason of him trying to make up for the fact that he's old. So like, I don't think it's a good fit if we're going with like a standard Bruce Clark comparison, you know?
Yeah, it's true. So it doesn't, I mean, Josh gets a lot of out of him. There's even more, and he gives a future of kind of the DCU updates here. So let's take a look at this particular clip and see what he says here. Oh, that's Batman.
Nothing else.
No, listen. And do I ever think about it? Sure, there's people out there I think about, but let's see where the script comes in.
Okay,
it's not the furthest along thing. I mean, we have things that are much, much further along than Reboot.
Let's talk about the further along. Supergirl's in the can.
Supergirl's in the can.
Same old phone.
Come on.
Nah.
I'm gonna add again.
Upgrade to the new Galaxy.
As I say it, it's like I'm sure there's been 70,000.
Don't leave out Peacemaker 2.
We're going to be talking about that in about a week. I'm very excited about
Peacemaker 2 is a direct follow-up to Superman. We have so many characters from Rick Flag's in it, Hawkgirl, Maxwell Lord, Guy Gardner. So it's the direct follow-up to Superman,
and
but very R-rated.
I can't wait. We're going to see not only Lobo but Crypto in Supergirl.
Lobo is so freaking awesome. Jason Momoa is so, oh my god, yeah.
I mean, we've all agreed like this was like the easiest casting ever.
It was. Well, he pushed himself on me too, I gotta say. But Lobo is great, and then and that's great. And then we have Lanterns coming out, which is great. We have Clayface, which is about to go into production.
Cast your Clayface. You have James Watkins directing. This is going to be
Flanagan script. Yep.
And you've said the script is what sold you. It's always going to sell you.
Yeah.
This is
a total horror movie. Like, really, it's like it could be a Blumhouse, big budget horror film, and it's within the DCU, which I think is a cool thing to do.
Let me just run down a few others. You tell me as much as you want or not. So, like, are we anywhere on like a Wonder Woman script? Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You feel like there's a take, there's a direction.
Yes.
That feels distinct from what we've seen before.
Yeah, very.
Damn.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'm very, very excited about Wonder Woman right now.
Do you anticipate seeing something like a new Flash, a new Aquaman in the next few years, or is that a little ways off?
I wouldn't say the next 2 years for either of those characters.
Okay. The Authority still on your mind?
Yeah, but that's been a rough
That's
road.
about a slower one.
Yeah,
Just harder to
Well,
crack, harder to.
yeah. The writer moved on to do another project in the DCU that I think he's really killing right now. So
Okay. And that project would be
another movie.
Swamp Thing. Has Mangold delivered a script?
We talked to James the other day, so no, he hasn't delivered a script. It's
Okay.
he's been distracted with his billions of movies.
Yes.
But I think we're talking about it again. So
And I mean, Sergeant Rock seemed like it was very close.
Mhm.
Do you still have hopes that it's going to come back around relatively soon?
hugely,
Okay.
I'm really excited about Sergeant.
And with Luca still involved?
No,
Okay. Is there one filmmaker, if you had your druthers, if you could lure anybody into the DCU, who would you grab?
Interesting.
Make your pitch.
Come on. Let's do it.
Matt Reeves.
You already got him. Oh, he's in the
No.
DCU.
He's not in the DCU.
Have you talked to him? You must have talked to him about it.
Yeah. No, I mean Matt to me, listen, Matt, I love the people that are out there making pop movies that are still, it's Matt Reeves, it's Greta Gerwig, it's Ryan Coogler,
It's their vision.
it's the guys that, and I'm friendly with all those people, and they're making big movies that still have themselves in it.
Yeah, they're personal, yet they resonate with everybody.
And so
So you can check the rest out, obviously, with he's got a ton of stuff there for Gunn. I mean, those are some big nuggets, obviously, and the fact that he wants to have Matt Reeves direct a DCU project, and he's like, have you talked to him about it? He's like, yeah, I have. And look, a lot of those updates are things like he said, you could tell Sergeant Rock, he clearly wants to get made, and just isn't going to happen with Luca. And although I'll tell you, I don't know if you guys saw that After the Hunt trailer, that thing's getting nominated for Oscars.
I have not seen it.
Luca's going to be all over Oscars, so they might want to go back and get him for something. But either way, Coy, I don't know. We just heard a lot. What stood out?
I love that he is as much about the directors having their own flavor as he is. It seems clear to me with Craig Gillespie and some of the other confirmed directors that is kind of like the second level of like script and then personality and directing. I think that's a thing with bigger tentpoles in any studio, any shared universe or not shared universe, where there gets to be a point where it's really, really big and it doesn't feel important. That was personally one of the things I loved about Superman, was that it felt important. It had a really strong message and theme, but it didn't pull punches and got to be a giant tentpole film. I'd love if, much like comic books, we use the medium to tell bold stories, but also add personality even when they're huge. So that seems to be on the forefront. I love that he wants Matt Reeves in the DCU because it's not yet. I think that's a great sign of them working together being a great thing. I don't know what that could be, but that's exciting because I agree. Like if you look at Apes, you look at anything he's done, there's a lot of vision in his work. So I'd love to see that as well. And I don't know, just I like that the further along we get, the more forthcoming he is. Obviously, that was the last stop in his press tour for Superman. So it's nice to have a big catch-all of like, here's all the stuff. But I do think it is smart of him to not do the thing where there's a 5-year layout. I like the caginess versus the like, here's a map.
Yeah. Winston, again, a lot that we heard. What'd you take out of that?
The main thing that got me was the Reeves situation, and I think it makes me wonder if there was, I got to believe, because he obviously has a lot of respect for Matt, that it was a mutually decided thing from Warner Brothers and from him to be like, just leave Matt alone and let him do what he's going to do with the Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And because that's almost what that comment sort of felt like, is both he knows that, but it feels like Warner Brothers is also like, it made us a lot of money. It's done well. We're going to keep this kind of doing its own thing.
Right.
So, I said last week, him being like, hey, the genre is going to be different, might have tipped the hat towards maybe we are going to use Pattinson as Batman. I think then this was a little bit more clarifying of like, that's not what's going to happen. And the hope that once his saga is done, that maybe he can bring Reeves into the fold after the fact. But that was the part that stuck out to me the most, because I think that's the big question everybody's been asking, is what's going to happen with that.
Okay. So, I mean, again, there's tons of stuff there. A lot of those updates, a lot of those things. Great job by Josh. The last thing that I want to play from this clip, and I haven't heard any of this because it just went up. And this will be a spoiler for Superman. So if you haven't seen it, I would say dip out. But he asked him about Jor-El's message. That's intriguing to me to see what the answer is going to be and what the question is if he gives him anything on it. So let's see what the question exactly is and how James Gunn responds. Here is that particular clip. Hold on a moment. There we go. Here we go.
Is it real? Has it been doctored? Is that the actual
How
message?
can someone not think it's real?
I'm just saying.
How can someone? I don't understand. Like we did this. So in the test screens, people were like, "Is it real?" You know, with AI, nobody trusts anything. Okay, in the movie,
You make a point of saying
he said,
Mr. Terrific says it's real.
Mr. Terrific says, I know those computer forensics guys. There's no way. That's Mr. Terrific. Smart as Lex Luthor. Then I have Maury, the Secretary of Defense, say, I think whatever you think about Luthor, but it's real. And then the clincher is that Gurkos and Lex are walking together.
Right.
And, you know, Gurkos says, you doctored a message. This is great. And Lex says, it's not a message. You know, it's not doctored.
Right.
It's real. And who thought his own parents would be the ones to bring him down?
Okay. We just clarified, just for the record. I just want to get it down. Are there implications for this going forward, or have you dealt with this? I mean, do you imagine this being dealt with in future Superman stories?
I mean, honestly, I think he deals with it in this story pretty much. I mean,
okay. So there, I think that's pretty much done deal. Kind of bummed about it a little bit, but I also, pun intended, I think I like that he's sticking to his guns. But I will say, hey, I have to figure, boy, you know what? You don't get to do that. So yeah, he's sticking to his guns. And Coy, what do you think about this? What do you think about the fact that is this clarification? Is this Dunsky?
Oh, that's done. I thought, again, it was very clear in the movie. There's so many comments in any of my reviews. Like I did a non-spoiler, a spoiler, an Easter egg. I did so many reviews in this movie, and everyone has comments of like, hey, so do you think that's actually the message? Like, it's very established in the film that even when Lex is talking casually outside of the public, why would he lie? And then why would Mr. Terrific? Because if they made it so Mr. Terrific didn't believe it, that would undermine his super intelligence. There's so many reasons that show that is the message. So I like that because it shows choice. It shows nature nurture. It shows that his parents are ma and pa. It shows that he made the choice to not be what he was sent there for. I think it's great. The Kryptonians are not the ones on the planet. Superman is on the planet as a Kryptonian that is human, and he is doing the thing he chose to do, and that is the speech from Pa Kent about parents are the ones that are letting kids make a fool of themselves, make their own choice, is so undermined if that message isn't true. The whole movie is about making choices, so I think it's really weird that people really want Jor-El, who they don't have any context to and will never probably see again, to have such an impact. They didn't make it a story where the crystals are like Jor-El talking as a ghost. We will probably not see the parents of his birth again, I assume, because I don't know if there'd be a reason to. So yeah, I like a new canon because it allows for new takes and new choices, and I think this is a really strong choice. And also like the opening when he falls like Yamcha. This is very Dragon Ball Z, which I dig.
Yeah. I do think, I don't know how it consider me weird then on your logic, because like I think that for me it's like I understand the story that they were telling. It made sense. It's a story that they told. It made sense, but it doesn't take away, it shouldn't take away from people's if they've embraced Jor-El as a character over however long it's been, and the idea of like Jor-El was stern, but Jor-El was not telling his son to go create a harem and to go, dominate the world. It's a different take, in the same way that Henry Cavill Superman was a different take on Superman, right? It's a different take on it. It made sense for the story they were telling. I just still don't know if I love it. And I definitely, the confirmation that he just said, he's like, what are you talking about? It's like, I've told you 3 times. It's the real message. He clarified it. But Winston, I don't know. What do you make of it?
I mean, the first thing is I don't think it was that clear, because the messenger that this was real is Lex Luthor, a man known for lying at every pass if it gets him what he wants. So I don't necessarily agree with that, including, yes, Mr. Terrific is arguably the second smartest man in the whole universe. But again, that would be second. And then the argument is typically that Lex is the first. So on top of the fact that you have a Brainiac potentially running around out there, Brainiac, like Ultron level of like, let me go mess with computer technology. There's a number of reasons why people would feel disingenuous about that, not just the society that we currently live in. But yes, I agree it was a choice to decide that that's how Jor-El would be. I am okay with it. I don't love it, but I'm okay with it because of what Coy did mention before. What this movie ultimately is about the choices. It's also about nature versus nurture. The nature of it would be, hey, if that's really how Kryptonians be rolling, then he would go and make a harem and dominate the planet, versus he was raised by the Kents, which is why you have even how he deals with that at the end with the video. That is kind of just further putting into place. It is about what you decide to do with your life and the people that affect you, not necessarily where you come from. So I like it as a narrative choice. I don't like it necessarily as, yes, this Jor-El has existed in various stories, but I prefer the one where he comes from good people. It also speaks to, Kara in that regard, because obviously she was around on Krypton beforehand. So are all Kryptonians just out here being like, bone and take over planets? Like, are we dealing with the Viltrumites now?
That's the question. What did she, if it's that cut and dry, like he just said, what did she know? Like how much information is it, I keep getting, Coy, is it Kara or Kara?
That's one of those tomatoes. I say Kara, but I've heard both.
Okay. So either way, is Kara, whatever the hell her name is she, does she know this stuff? Does she know, like, basically, because you'd assume that she knew the intent, and if she did, was she holding it from Clark the whole time?
I mean, that's to me, I'm curious if that's addressed in Supergirl, if that's something that the Kryptonians have as a factor, or is it something that is Jor-El's like, well, this is the option, go. I don't know if that assumes them all to be a conquering people, or if Jor-El was. Also, the harem thing to me, and I could be misreading it, felt more like something that Lex used to make people more afraid. Like, that felt augmented by Lex. Like, the message was clear, but Lex then doubled down, and then the guy in Barovia doubled down into, like, the women here, the ones he likes most. Like, to me, that felt like a way to alienate, pun intended, Superman, because America's so prudish. Like, there's nothing Americans fear more than sex. So, like, using that to be like, oh, he likes many women. So I think that's a smart bit of storytelling. If you want someone to be villainized, you use the thing we're scared of, which is titties.
No. I mean, so my question is, you think that was actually a real part of the message, but Lex played it up? Or you think Lex added that part to the message, but the message of go and essentially be a ruler was real?
I think the ruler was real. I think the way to make people afraid is to poke at the thing they're insecure about. So, like,
so you think the harem thing was also real, but Lex is like, ooh, see, look at him, sex.
He mentioned on that Bill O'Reilly show, right? Like, that's the thing that he was like, and he, like, that's the thing that got the juice.
All right. Well, we'll find out a little bit more. I'm sure someone will ask him about that. But great job overall from Josh Horowitz there, as always. Make sure you go check it out. Check his channel out and watch the full interview. It's almost like an hour-long video. So go and check that out. What do you make of the DC updates that we just played there? Put your thoughts in there. We're going to get to the questions in just a second, but I want to continue on with the DC and this Wonder Woman story, which was going to be initially it was our lead story, but then the Fantastic Four came out. But DC Studios might be looking for a TV actress to play Wonder Woman. Update on Bane and Deathstroke movie. We have a big update on DC Studios' Wonder Woman plans, and many of the fan favorite picks for the role may have been eliminated. There's also news on Deathstroke, Bane, Clayface, and more. Check it out. The trade's reporting that DC Studios is finally fast-tracking a Wonder Woman movie. We're one step closer to seeing Diana Prince back in theaters where she belongs. It initially looked like we have to wait for the Amazon, with James Gunn and Peter Safran instead prioritizing Paradise Lost. This TV series hasn't taken shape, though, and DC Studios appears to have listened to fans eager to see DC's A-lister on screen, not just B-listers like Booster Gold and Swamp Thing. Appearing on the Box Office podcast, the Rap's Humberto Gonzalez revealed that when it comes to casting Wonder Woman, DC Studios is searching for an actress with a television background similar to Millie Alcock, who is best known for House of the Dragon. In other words, they're searching for someone who's not necessarily a household name with several big movies on IMDb, not dissimilar to Alcock and Superman stars David Corenswet and Rachel Brosnahan. An actor like this will also come cheaper than a proven A-lister. The trades reported a few other updates. For starters, Captain America Brave New World writer Matthew Orton has submitted his mysterious Bane and Deathstroke script to Gunn and Safran. Whether they decide to move forward to it remains to be seen. Gonzalez has also heard that Tom Reese Harris will receive $400,000 for playing Clayface's title character. Pretty decent figure when you consider Corenswet and Brosnahan were only paid $750 each for Superman before potential box office bonuses. Finally, it's revealed that Warner Brothers Discovery chairman David Zaslav couldn't understand why there hadn't been a solo Superman for over a decade. The last one was Man of Steel, so he pushed for one to be the first DCU release. Zaslav is reportedly very pleased with how it's doing so far. Asked recently where the things stand with Wonder Woman and Brave and the Bold, Gunn replied, I mean, it's not going to be ready until the scripts are ready, so both the scripts are being written now, and if they're good, we'll go into production immediately. He added, so it really depends on how we can get the scripts done, because the only thing I'm not just going to do into production without a script, and what I do is feel fantastic, especially for those characters who deserve it the best. I rather wait a year than go too soon. That's essentially what he just said to Josh also. So I think, again, for Wonder Woman, when those potential rumors, I mean, I think it puts Adria Arjona in the top of the list after what she did with Wonder Woman. I just saw a comment that came in and said she's too short. She's 5'7". 5'7" on screen you can make look 5'9" pretty quick. Put on a pair of flats. That's the silliest one. She's too short because
Tom Cruise has been getting away with it for a very long time. Tom Hardy.
She's 5'7".
The only exception to that rule is like we've been talking about with Storm, which is the same thing. Storm is supposed to be in her own way, like average, like she should be roughly close to 6 foot in and of itself, and that she's this tall guy. And you're trying to put Cynthia Erivo.
But she's fucking short.
Right. No. I understand.
Right.
I totally understand. But I understand if people are really getting on this height thing. And in the reverse, as much as we love Hugh Jackman, the idea of having a shorter dude to be Logan too, like all of that, I can see people being a little nitpicky. I won't get upset with them for feeling one way or the other. But I agree, 5'7" you can make look 5'9".
Yeah, that's easy. 5 foot is hard to make look 5'7", 5'8". It's hard. It's almost impossible to make look 6 feet without looking ridiculous. 5'7" looking 5'9" or 5'10" is really easy. It's really easy in the movie business. So that to me, when I see that comment, I'm like, if you say I'm not a fan of her acting, I don't see her in the role, I'll say, okay, I disagree with you, but I understand your point. I'm never going to tell somebody, oh yeah, okay, she's too short. That makes sense. That makes no sense. She doesn't. She's 5'7". But Coy, I think it puts her in two things here. One, I think it really puts her as the front runner. And I also think of what he just said when Josh was talking to him about Lobo, and he's like, well, he really pushed himself on me. You know, think Jason Momoa was making phone calls like, hey, take another meeting with Adria. And he, plus the fact he's worked with her before. Yeah,
it's funny. A lot of people are like, well, he debunked Wonder Woman being Adria Arjona on Threads. He said he wasn't following her because of it. That didn't mean she's not still in the running. So I do think they, having worked together is probably a great thing. And I think that, them knowing each other, that doesn't mean she is it. This is also not a confirmation, but it does mean like we still don't know one way or the other. But it's exciting that we're further along with Wonder Woman than we seemingly had been. It's exciting that this is something they're putting on the forefront. I think Zaslav was very clear about the Superman being up front. I think if he's thinking that same way, Wonder Woman and Batman can't be far behind. Those are your big tentpole characters. And since we already do have a Batman with Matt Reeves, to me, that means Wonder Woman is the next character to really, shepherd forward. So whether that's Adria Arjona or not, I think we're going to know sooner than a lot of other characters.
I don't know, Winston, do you think that this puts her in the forefront?
I mean, I think it certainly helps. I think, but I think the thing that we got to remember, even with Superman, we had a bunch of different ideas and had no idea really about Corenswet, and then he just came out of nowhere. So it's possible. I think what Gunn does an exceptionally good job of is, let them talk. Let them eat cake type situation. I know that's more of a negative connotation, but the idea of like, we're out here doing business. It's fun to kind of keep them kind of pondering and guessing. It keeps us in the news one way or the other. I think that there is honestly is equal as much that it could be Arjonia as it could be that. Go ahead, keep thinking that's the case, and I already have my Wonder Woman off to the side here.
Yeah, well, this also has been debunked as we are talking about it. James Gunn himself debunked this story from Umberto right here, where it says they asked him, "Is it true about the TV thing?" He says, "Nope." And never in a million years look for a major role based on whether they did TV, films, or whatever. It's all about the casting. I didn't cast Millie because of her past, but because she was the best one for the role. But we're also not casting Wonder Woman, not even discussing it until a script is finished. So there you go. I mean, you can still say that. You can still, but look, the thing that I think inside of the report that I think was true, and I think should be true, you don't need a major movie star. You don't need someone that's going to blow up your budget. You need somebody who's going to blow up somebody else's budget once you cast them as Wonder Woman. Eventually, that's what you need to do. You need to say, okay, you know what? We're going to give this person their first big role, like Corn Sweat. Corn Sweat now will be getting, because this movie's a hit, and same thing with Brosnan. They will be making more than $750,000 for big movies now. Like
Hemsworth, like Tom Hiddleston, like that's what you do.
That's how it goes. And Coy, I think you've talked to Corn Sweat enough now. Give me a over on, let's say percentage wise. Let's say we'll go 67% over under that he's going to appear in a Star Wars movie.
If Disney's smart, over. Like if Disney knows what they're doing. Like he is the biggest. Like he's like, if you give him this much, he will take this much to talk about Star Wars. The band will die. He is so excited. He wants to be an X-Wing pilot so bad. X-Wing pilot is like his next dream anything. I think it's going to happen. I think that would be a great move on timing for Disney to show like, hey, we're listening to the fans. We're listening to the passion. We want a passionate actor. And I want it for him, man. He is such a nerd.
I mean, it'd be great to have him on there. But that's my point is, if Star Wars decided, hey, we want Corn Sweat,
it's going to be costing more than $750.
It costs more than $750 now. And if he's got good agents, of course that would be the case. But anyway, as far as this goes, look, James Gunn has now reiterated what he just said to Josh Hartnett. It all depends on the script. So either way, are we getting any closer to finding a Wonder Woman? And as he said, I still think that Supergirl will be the one, obviously, is being pushed. We know that. But we're going to get Wonder Woman casting, I think, first. And I think that'll happen within the next 6 to 7 months, if I was going to guess. But what say you? Put your thoughts in there. Let us know. All right. It is that time, guys. We are going to get into the questions. But before we do it, got to let everybody know about Hydro. It's really helped. It's really helped me kind of stay, because when we're not able to get to the gym, man, this thing covers it all. Hydro's the best. Have you heard about Hydro yet, Coy?
No.
Oh, Coy, watch this.
Summertime is hectic, man. There's so much going on. You got to try to fit stuff in. So you got to try to fit in. How do I fit working out? How do I do it? For me, I love having Hydro at my house now. I've been talking about it. You guys, Hydro? We're talking about Hydro? Yeah, I'm talking about Hydro. Because why? There's no commute. There's no class times. There's no juggling logistics. I just hop on it. I get an amazing workout. 20 minutes fits into whatever kind of day I'm having. It's a game changer. It gives me a full body workout. It's got arms, it's got legs, it's got core, everything. I'm hitting 86% of my muscles in one session. I can do it in just 20 minutes when I'm busy. That kind of efficiency, it really matters. I love that I'm not just following some random trainer, too. That's one of the things I really have responded to. The workouts are led by real athletes, Olympians, baby, world champions, people who know what they are doing. It makes a big difference for me. I feel like, okay, this person knows what they're doing. I'm not just listening to some random video out of nowhere. So for me, again, just having it in my place, and if I miss something, I'm like, oh, man, what am I going to do? How am I going to get myself to the gym? I don't need to. I have it at my place. So I'm able to skip the gym and not the workout. I stay on track with Hydro. For a limited time, go to hydro.com. Use that code Kristian, and you're going to save up to $450 off your Hydro Pro Rower. $450. That is HYDROW.com. Use the code Kristian. Save up to $450. Hydro.com. Code Kristian.
That deal is
cool.
That deal
Really
is out of control. That's out of control.
Really
That
good deal.
Hydro is really, really good. So I hope everybody checks it out, please. All right, guys, you're standing at 45. Pretty damn good to start so far. I will say, I love our audience. I really do, and I love how nice they are. I love the comments that they have. 95% of them should have nothing to do with casting. I saw David Cornsweet as Indiana Jones. What are you talking about?
He's so he's so Clark Kent to the point that in real life he's like Clark Kent. Indiana Jones is curmudgeonly and cantankerous.
No gruff to him. There's no.
He's a sweet boy.
I think just from seeing his acting ability, sure, but it's not a read that I would go to. Like that's enough of a stretch.
I can see him playing a Jedi. I can see him doing a lot of different things. But the Indiana Jones, he doesn't have
no, man. The funny thing is, I would have a better chance of believing him being Jack Sparrow than I would Indiana Jones. Like if you were gonna
goofy he can get, but yeah.
But that's what I'm saying though. There was enough little goofiness in Superman that I could see that more than I could see Indiana Jones, and I wouldn't even put him as Jack Sparrow.
And here's the other thing: in the same way that I feel like Indiana Jones is not a big jacked dude, and I know
he's an archaeologist.
He's an archaeologist, and he has to figure out ways to get himself out of trouble.
He's scrappy.
If you're the size of David Cornsweet, Henry Cavill, Alan Ritchson, you don't need to be. You just
Glenn Powell for Indiana Jones. If you're really gonna try and go with that, like I get he's also a pretty boy, but I'm saying there was enough in Twisters that I'll give you that than I would Cornsweet.
I hate saying my pick. Because now it just looks like I'm a fanboy at this point. It's Brendan Sklar. I think he's perfect for
it. You do look like a fanboy, but I think those are two roles that you've given up for him that both would work very well.
It fit his skill set. Anyway, let's get into the questions because we have a lot to discuss. We have a lot to talk about. You guys have put in a lot of questions. But before we do, we get a quick plug here from both Winston and Coy on what's going on their channel. Winston A. Marshall, what's going on the channel, man?
Yeah, absolutely. So come on over, youtube.com/theswaggyblurred. Like I mentioned, I'm hoping to get the Final Fantasy, the Fantastic Four video out for tomorrow. Worst case scenario, it'll be out Monday. This Sunday, I'm going to be doing my Blazing Saddles watch along. If you just want to look at the reaction, that'll come out in a little bit. But if you go to my YouTube page for the memberships and the Patreon, it's up there that you can sign up for the tier that will allow you to do a live watch along of Blazing Saddles with me. So
have you watched it yet, or it's live?
No, it will be a live watch along. It'll be my first time watching it. If you just want to do the reaction, that will come out in a couple of weeks. But if you want to actually watch it in real time with me, you can do that by joining. So, yep, come say what's up.
Coy Jandro.
I'm going to do a live later today because I was so busy the last few weeks. I haven't been live in weeks. So I'm going to do one later today with the comics from the last couple of weeks. My favorite 9 of each week are 50 to 70, and I give you my favorite 9. So that live is today, plus talking about the Supergirl poster and lots of other stuff. My page is also going to be covering Fantastic Four quite a bit starting on Monday. I'm going to be hosting the premiere for The Hollywood Reporter. So I'll be there on Monday. Yeah. So I'll be there and I'll be able to give you my reaction right out of the theater, and then I'll be able to give you my review the next morning. So look out for Fantastic Four stuff over there. I'm also going to Comic-Con and basically doing the Hollywood Reporter Thursday, Friday, DC Saturday, trying to walk the floor Sunday. So if you guys see me out there, come say hello, but follow me on YouTube and Instagram, where I'm trying to do more on Instagram at Coy Jandro.
Okay, guys, this is it. Make sure you check out both Winston and Coy on their channels. Let's do it. Let's start the battle. You guys are less than 100 away to get Roka. You're at 48 as we start. Here we go. You got just under an hour to try to catch Roka. All right, Mustafa Aguin. I would love for someone to ask James Gunn who he has in mind, whose members of the Justice League will be. Surely he already has an idea. Also, what's your thoughts on Martian Manhunter? Will we see him? Well, we know Winston thinks he's a household name.
Look, man, I'm saying anybody of millennial age that watched that Justice League cartoon, Martian Manhunter is lodged in your brain.
Comic book fans, yeah, sure.
But not even comic book fans. I'm saying anybody that watched that Justice League cartoon, even if as it was a Saturday morning / Toonami cartoon, if you watch that OG team, which is I think what Gunn is tapping into by the fact that you're making Aaron Pierre, that's Mufasa, who looks just like the Jon Stewart of that cartoon, and you brought Hawkgirl in there already. Like, he is kind of dipping his toe in that little saga. And I think Martian Manhunter is coming. I think he needs to be there. Yeah, let's go.
Coy?
I think Martian Manhunter is likely because of not only what Winston's speaking to, but also James Gunn's sensibilities. He seems to like characters that are heady, intellectual, weird. You can do a lot of weird, great stories with Martian Manhunter. So I hope we see John Johns. As far as members and who he thinks will play them, I actually don't think James Gunn is locking anything into his mind. I think he's very flexible. I think he's probably got 5 or 6 or 7 people for various incarnations, but I think he's going to get a script and then he's going to decide, oh, this type of read, this is the way we're doing this character. Let me look at people now with that in mind. He's not directing and writing all these movies. He's overseeing a universe. So I think he probably has actors on short lists, but I don't think he has individuals in mind personally, because I do think he was honest in like, I don't know who my Batman is yet. Of course I have some people in mind, but I think the script is going to tell us.
Agreed. All right. Tyler Pfeiffer says, please tell me you've seen that CEO get caught cheating at Coldplay. We talked about it earlier. We discussed that earlier. I mean, he made a massive moral error. The thing to me that stood out the most is that he tried to blame anyone else but himself inside of you.
And him ducking out and leaving her in the frame, just stranded. Like,
you know what? You know the funny thing about that? That's that moment where if you're gonna do something that ridiculous, just be cool. If he didn't go, oh Jesus,
he would never have
you. He would have never said anything. Nobody would have known that. Like, that's a random couple.
He almost Gerard Butler Spartan kicked her off the thing. 100%.
Don't move. And then on top of that, if they're doing the Jumbotron, maybe stop holding her while they're doing the Jumbotron. You idiot.
What are you doing?
I can do a whole show on just this.
He's an imbecile. Tyler Pfeiffer, the video is hilarious. Yeah, he's an imbecile. One bad Cajun. Stephen Colbert just got canceled by Trump himself, most likely. That we don't know that. How long before we are living in V for Vendetta world, and are you concerned about free speech? That's all hearsay because of the Paramount deal and everything too. It's all people throwing things out there.
It's not a good look, but yeah, we don't need to get.
You don't know. But that's the thing is I hate that about today's society. I hate it. Just right away, you can have theories and that's fine, but to say things are fact in general about whatever it might be. Now, I'm not saying you're saying that. I'm just saying that in general that people do that. Well, you know, and that's the case. He was the one who did it. It's possible, very well possible, but you don't know, and that can be about anything, accusations, all that stuff. Until you know, don't say shit.
You're right. You don't know. It's just the only thing in a world where people are always trying to spin something. The one thing that wasn't a good look was, in my opinion, Paramount saying this is a money thing when it is the highest rated late night show of all of the late night shows. That's the part where I can go, something smells rotten. But
yeah, the way I thought is that late night is like it used to be like, a lot of people would watch late night because there wasn't a lot of stuff to watch, and that was the thing. There's tons of stuff to watch. Streaming, I think, like everything else, to which Coy always says, streaming has just kind of turned media up on its head. I don't think people are watching late night as much as they used to.
Go ahead, Coy.
I think it's a perfect storm. I think it's Paramount timing. I think this might be a factor. I'm going to speak to not assuming anything until we get more data, but it does seem suspect timing wise. But I also think that when you are making sure your guests that would usually go in late night take time to talk to people that dance on TikTok, then obviously there's going to be a problem with late night. I think media itself is trying to figure out what it is. I think we should include that as a factor, but I also think that late night is in a different spot. Like late night's my dream job, but I don't know if I will ever get to do my dream job because I think the job's going away, not the opportunity.
That's what it is. I think it's just been it's so different now of what it was like when we were growing up to today. Because look, even here's another thing. Late night was so successful and so big because it was where you went to watch your interviews. It was where you went to watch celebrities talking about their movies and the things that are coming up. You can see that on every other podcast now. And they're not saying, and they're not going as deep as they are on the 1 hour long, half an hour long. If I go and see Brad Pitt on Jimmy Kimmel for 10 minutes with some bits, or Jimmy Fallon for 5-10 minutes, right? I'm not getting the same experience I am when I watch him on Dak Shepard for an hour.
But that's the one. But the other side being the timing. I do think that the number one rated show in late night, that is suspect. I don't know how Paramount's doing, because I don't think of Paramount as having much. I think of them as having that, and so to lose that and to get rid of that first seems odd. So it just I'm curious how this all plays out.
Yeah,
it also doesn't help, and then we can move on. It doesn't help that Paramount is also in the middle of potentially selling to Skydance, which Colbert said in his bit in the first place. So the idea of when the payment happened for the lawsuit, and then this happening, and him calling all of that out, it all smells fishy.
Yeah, so he'll get a gig somewhere else real quick.
Of course,
real quick. Zayn Miguel, over under 30% that Gunn is doing a straight up sequel to Soups. Under. Should he even direct anything or just stick to producing for now and focus on being CEO? Thanks. I say this not, and again, very similar to what I was talking about before with Alan Richardson. I don't think James Gunn should direct for like about 5 years. I think James Gunn should step back, and James Gunn should direct and produce and paint his vision of how he wants to do it and put things together. He set it off. He threw the ball down the field. Let other people catch it. Coy, what do you think?
I think that when there's something that really strikes him, it'd be nice if he had the time to because I don't think there's another person that would have made this Superman movie this way. So I think if he's producing and if he's getting scripts and he gets inspired, I'd love to see him do another thing like sometimes. But I do want to make sure that there isn't the thing where we were always talking about how Kevin Feige felt like he was spreading himself too thin.
Yes.
He wasn't directing anything.
Right.
So as long as he can keep the quality up, I know he wrote Creature Commandos and Superman and directed Superman all within like a few years. I can't imagine how exhausting that would be while launching a thing. But say he's reading someone's script and he gets an idea and he writes a script and that inspires a choice. I don't want him to be beholden to some schedule. You're right. Like, so if there's a capacity for it, I don't think anyone else would have had the punk rock Superman concept. But James, he's such a needle drop guy. On DC Studio Showcase, I literally described Superman as punk rock and counterculture being kind before I saw the movie. That's literally how I see the character. No one else would have given me that movie. So I don't want to lose that for him show running a universe, so to speak. But I don't want dude to get to the point where we're seeing, him like Kevin Feige, where we're like, is this sustainable? So if he can find time in 3 or 4 years to do another one of these.
3 or 4 years to me makes sense because, again, what you don't want to do is because the movie, as you just said, it's a very different Superman, but it had very much a James Gunn stamp to it. You don't want the DCU to be James Gunn's. They look like and feel like every movie has to feel like James Gunn's movie. That's just, you don't want to do that. It's not fair to other filmmakers. It's not fair in general. So I think he needs to step back and just tell his story through producing. And so like you said, 3 or 4 years out. But Zayn Miguel. Speaking of which, as far as Soups goes, no, I don't think we're getting a direct sequel. No. Zayn Miguel, if Project Hail Mary is a success, and Meyer Burnett even saying that it has a chance to be nominated for Best Picture, can you guys see Lord Miller doing a DCU film? Maybe a Flash or The Authority. Thoughts? I mean, I'm sure James Gunn would love to work with those guys.
I don't know really anything about Project Hail Mary, so I need to go and look into this before.
It's an incredible book written by the writer of The Martian. He's also a part of the film.
Yeah.
Lord and Miller are directing as well as producing. Ryan Gosling's in it. It's one of my most anticipated projects the next 5 years.
Wow.
I am very excited for it. I don't know if from a trailer and from a great book you can assume anything as far as Best Picture. I think that it's going to be a huge tentpole. I think it coming out when it does is an odd.
When does it come out?
I think March. Which is an odd spot for Oscars, but we've seen it with Dune. It has worked. But I'm generally excited about the movie. I think Lord and Miller are fairly tied into Spider-Man still. I don't know if they'd have time to go to the DCU. I would love if they do. I would be very personally happy, but they seem to have a lot on their plate right now.
Good call. Daniel Breen, excuse me. Is Spider-Man Brand New Day a guaranteed $1 billion? Nothing is a guaranteed $1 billion anymore. I mean, we just had our first $1 billion movie this year, and that was and it was Lilo and Stitch, right? Which again, kids movie. That's the bet that you look last year at most of the $1 billion movies were kids movies, and that's your best shot. So I don't and with Marvel right now as it is, no, I don't think it's guaranteed.
I don't think anything's a guarantee. Like, I don't think a single movie is a guarantee.
Yeah, no.
Because what there were
Avatar is a guarantee.
Oh,
There were
fair.
only-
Touche.
That's fair. There was only what 4? Well, I'll call it 4 because I'll round up from one of them. $billion movies last year. Inside Out 2 at 1.6, Deadpool and Wolverine at 1.3, Moana at 1.05, and then Despicable Me at 969. We'll call it $1 billion.
Right.
So that's 3 of the 4
kids movies. Yeah. Connor Mullis. Oh my goodness, it's Corky and Wilson. I better. Hell yeah, you better. Connor says, Blackest Night for DC's first big event.
I think it's possible. I think that, we've only got one movie and one show in, but I love that what they're setting up with some of the billionaire stuff. I think Blackest Night could. You know what? We could actually answer this much better after Lanterns, because obviously that's the most.
We need to see.
But I think that is going to be like what direction the cosmic side's going, right? So I think we can know next year.
The only problem with that, if you're going to do that, and then I'm curious, when you say Lanterns, are we just talking about the Green Lanterns, or are we talking about all of the cores? Because the problem is Blackest Night is so tied to all of the cores, and nobody other than diehard comic fans are familiar with the rest of the spectrum. They typically know Green Lantern and maybe Yellow Lantern. They don't know about Red and Blue and Indigo and all that. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of setup. That's a lot of setup.
Connor also says, or maybe even Sinestro Corps War would be cool.
Yeah, I could see that. That's a little bit easier to.
That could also set up for Blackest Night. Like that could be an Empire Strikes Back leading to Jedi.
Beagle Studios. Can't wait to see Superman tomorrow on my 31st birthday. Enjoy, Beagle.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Boomer Bust. Advice for people who love DC, hates James Gunn's style, and thought Superman was meh. The thought of my favorite heroes getting gunned makes me itch. Well, that's kind of my point that I made before. If you're not a James Gunn fan, and you thought Superman was just okay, but you want to see where it's going to go moving forward, this is why James Gunn is doing what he's doing. He's going, okay, look, we're changing it. We're doing different tones. There's new directors and everything else too. I would say stay the course. Watch these other directors that come in to see what they do with it. And that's why I'd say it can't be everything can't feel like a James Gunn movie, even though I know that Peacemaker is really the next thing. And that obviously is going to be very James Gunn. But outside of that, it's got to feel different. But Winston, what do you say?
My advice would be 2 things. One, you didn't say it was bad. You said it was meh, which means that there was something in there that you enjoyed. So right. I would focus on that and specifically look at the characters or storylines that really did something for you in that initial process. If you feel like those fully divert, then who knows? Then you just unfortunately got to ride this out. But I would, knowing that there was something in there that you like by saying meh, and that you love these characters, anchor on to those things.
The next movie is another super project, and it's got a very different director. I feel like in 1 year's time, you might be less worried, because this is very intentionally that spinner rack feel. It is going to be very there are way more ways to make Supergirl another Superman movie than there are to make Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. The Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow comic that we're getting adapted into the Supergirl movie is by Craig Gillespie, very different director. It's a very different type story. I don't think you'll be as worried next year, and I think James Gunn is very conscious of that.
When does that come out?
June 27th.
Oh, wow. When does Lanterns drop, though?
Next year. I just don't know when.
Just not sure when.
Probably March, if I was going to guess. Connor Mullis, I want a pina colada so I can get jiggy with it. Hell yeah. And you'll be an action star. All right. Connor Mullis. Winston, did you see the mix I sent you?
Which mix?
And they switched the beat of the Will Smith freestyle, and it actually sounds better.
Really? No, I did not see. Where did you send it to me? On Instagram?
Yeah, Instagram.
I haven't seen that then.
Connor Mullis, guess what time it is? It's forklift time. Vroom, vroom. Hell yeah, be careful.
Let me just type.
Sympathy of all things. Man of Steel is art. Superman 2025 is content.
That's an opinion. I personally disagree with that. I think they're both art. I think it's like trying to listen to classical versus hip hop, and not that either of those are those. Not that either of these movies are those genres of music, but right. they are both music. They are just very different. So I don't know. I disagree with you.
Well, you agree, right?
I have sympathy for his taste.
Fair. Best show of the week is back. I'm an action star. It's the best. Cool, you've seen that, right?
Yeah, it's fantastic. I love it. That's like the third plug for it.
I got my friend Mike. Where is it? He did a reaction to it,
And it's so funny the reaction that he did to it. I have to find it though. Mr. Dave 2K.
Maybe I haven't seen this. I thought that Will Smith did a freestyle saying I'm an action star.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. The only thing I've known of him recently was I like
girls?
pretty girls.
Oh,
no. It was right before that, I think.
Yeah, that was the one it was right afterwards. That was that was the one I told you about, Winston, where Ari Spears like lit him up.
Well, no, I thought he lit him up about girls.
No,
I didn't understand that. Okay, I did not see this.
Yeah, no, you got. But I sent you the better version of it.
Okay,
Yeah, they sped up the beat.
You just gave so people are trying to wonder what's going on my channel. You're probably also going to get a reaction today to this Will Smith I'm an action star.
There's a remix to Action Star too.
What's that?
I thought it was the sped up girls beat. There's a remix to the Action Star one too.
Ari Spears apparently went in on it.
Yeah. Oh my god, I gotta find.
I literally thought that he was when you brought it up that he was going in on I like pretty girls.
No, I really have to find my friend's thing because it's absolutely hilarious. His face when he does it, but I can't find his channel because I told him, I said you got to change your channel name because I can't just do an easy search to find him. I'll find. Okay, so let's see. Oh, Mr. Dave 2K. Gunn has already debunked the Wonder Woman casting, though. Nothing happened before the script. Yeah, we played that up there before too, and it seems like that was the case, but we'll see. Reggie Brown. Even though Franklin is a baby, what if he brings the Fantastic Four to the MCU, like he put the Fantastic Four in the Avengers in a pocket universe when they fought Onslaught in the Onslaught Heroes Reborn comic storyline?
I like that idea.
I will say go ahead, Cole. But I was just gonna say I think you should come and watch my video on tomorrow and or Monday.
Perfect. Thanks, Winston.
I think this is a fantastic idea. I think it'd be a really cool way to tie in future Pocket Universe stuff, but also really tie into them coming into our universe in a fun way. I love this take. I think it's very possible. I think that also, I heard from a few people they loved the movie, but the ending threw them. That'd be a thing that would throw people. I'm really hoping I love the ending. I'm really hoping I love the movie. This is fun. I like it.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Moving forward here. Again, 59 currently. Trying to catch Roka. Noah S2000. I've seen Superman 3 times. It's a solid 7 out of 8. Not this masterpiece some people are making it out to be, but overall, great start to the to the DCU. There you go. Gopal also asked, "Hey, Coy, does today's DC show have Superman spoilers?"
Yeah, DC Studio Showcase full spoiler review. We had Greg on. I brought Greg on
nice.
DC Studio Showcase, so he's on the show with me and Brandon Davis. So check it out on HBO.
There you go. Vic Dude 97. What happened? Yeah, I can't tell that story again, but I'll tell you guys some other time. Okay, and now Alan Smithy. RMD did a 10-minute over-the-phone interview with Bryan Singer on his show. They discussed Superman and Singer's effect on comic book movies. Interesting interview. When was that? Was that on his chat on RMB's channel? Interesting. Eric Henderson. Handles are gone again. Mr. I crap and shit's here. I don't understand why YouTube does that. Like it's like
weird.
It is bizarre. And that's what he says, by the way, Winston, in the thing. He goes, I'm an action star, and sometimes I'm gonna act bizarre.
wait. Ari Spears does that or Will Smith?
Will Smith does that.
No. Oh, I can't wait for this reaction.
I have to find my friend. I have to. It's the best. God damn it. So mad I can't find his thing. Okay, let's see. Next one here. Did we get another one? Okay. Big criticism in the Superman movie is that Hawkgirl never said Hawk to her. If it was Brett Ratner, she would have.
Oh, it would have been a running joke.
Too. He also would have.
100%. I'm so glad that they didn't do that. Eric Henderson, Christian, congrats on the big scoop. Luke Cage in Mortal Kombat 2. I was waiting for you to correct yourself, but you never did. The same thing that I did for what was the other one I did recently? I did a couple of them, but that one I kept calling him Luke Cage instead of Johnny Cage, and then people. My favorite is there was something that someone wrote. There was some name with a hyphen. It's blank with a hyphen, and I wrote who-Kurs. So leave me alone. So if you know, good for you. You know, I care. All you have to do is research. Who cares?
J Mobile, hyped for Fantastic Four. I'm hoping in the epicness, oh my God moments and memorabilia that I was hoping for, but didn't personally get from Soups.
I hope so for you too, man. I want there to be a comic book movie this summer that people can feel like, oh my God, we're so back. Like whether that was Superman or Fantastic Four, I want the end of July to mean people's excitement for the genre. So tonally, maybe that'll be that. So I hope that for you too.
Yeah. Because I realized you weren't here last week, so we didn't really get your opinion directly. I've seen some of the stuff you've put out there, Coy, but like I walked out going, that was a good movie, but I did not walk out the way I came out of like the first Guardians out of Infinity War. We're like, oh my God. And like, it doesn't need to be, you blinked out half the universe, but like that I went out being like, man, Winter Soldier was so good. Like I didn't feel that. And I don't know if how you felt personally.
In short, this is now a paid ad from Warner Brothers DC. No, in short, man, it's so hard because I really want to be able to remove like child Coy and adult Coy here, but child Coy got to watch the Superman movie he's always wanted. So adult Coy just got to like not take the steering wheel for a bit. So I got more out of this than I got out of a lot of giant movies I've ever seen, comic book or not, where I saw the character that I, as a kid, idolized and then as an adult need. The more we get into the world and connectivity and the more like people have access to each other, the more I doubt we're worth saving. And the movie's about us being worth saving. So I needed that movie to give me hope again in tolerating humanity for the next 50 years.
Look at you. Here's the thing I was telling you about what I found. This is my friend Mike, who was doing a reaction to it, right?
And even though I'm an action star, sometimes I'm an act bizarre.
Damn. Okay. Sort of ruined it for me a little bit because I had CD, but that's hilarious. That's good with the balloons.
But dude, watch his face. Like, look at my friend's face when he says bizarre. It's my favorite thing.
And even though
you pulled it down.
Star, sometimes I'm an act bizarre.
It killed me when I saw him do that. It killed me.
Oh Jesus!
Action star. I gotta get that clip. I gotta get that. I gotta just.
Even though I'm an action star,
not an action star. Lauren L6569. Think Lex animal experiments led to Gorilla Grodd.
I think that was definitely something they teased, but I think that James Gunn and comic fans are going to want the insanity of the Gorilla City. I think, you know what I mean? Like that could be like, a take, but this is a universe building. So as much fun as that would be, it would undermine Gorilla City, which I think we might get.
Okay. The movie.
I was also going to say maybe not that, maybe Ultra Humanite, which is more the brain transferring to a gorilla body. That would make more sense, but no, I don't think that's Grodd.
And that would distinguish them.
The Movie Dudes podcast. Superman has made 310 globally. Should cross 400 this weekend. I think 650 million is still on the table. It'll be a fight. 650 is that's going to be a stretch, but they got a shot. They got a shot. I mean, look, like I said, but don't start, well, hey, the numbers right now, it all depends on A, what happens this weekend, B, what Fantastic Four pulls in. Those are the
I'm really curious about second weekend because, historically, Superman has a pretty big drop-off second weekend. Yeah. And I know Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday were solid. I don't know what yesterday's numbers were, but Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday were good. Yeah. I'm curious what the weekend is because, if it has, the traditional, I think Superman usually has like a 60+% drop-off. If it has like 50, that's good for Superman, but is that good for 2025? Like, I'm really curious what it looks like.
Nick Alexander, any comic recommendations for upcoming DC projects? Definitely charged up to read some stuff after Superman. Need the DC Universe Infinite app. I'm assuming that you're going to just recommend Women of Tomorrow to everybody, right?
For upcoming, I would say Women of Tomorrow is like a must, and it's also sensational. Yeah. I think it'd be probably smart to read Jon Stewart's Origin, which is a really fun storyline with Hal as well. Like the beginning of Jon Stewart is amazing. I think it's number 87. It's a bit ago, but it's really something special. If you want to read what Swamp Thing, I'd read Alan Moore's Swamp Thing. What else did James just talk about with Josh? I know he talked Swamp Thing and Supergirl.
Sergeant Rock.
Sergeant Rock, I would go back to the 40s original stuff.
Yeah.
I think the art is also fantastic. I check those out, and they're all in the app.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Next one. Eric Henderson. Coy, with your inside knowledge at DC, where's Plastic Man on the priority list? Are the DCU podcasts going to slow down until the next movie? That's a good question.
Plastic Man is a character that I know a lot of people love. I don't know what that means for his pecking order. I know it's a character that seems like the sensibilities of James Gunn, but he's not doing the next one. So that'll be TBD. And the podcasts are still every other week because we're doing Peacemaker next. So I'm actually going to go. I know Peacemaker runs in the fall, so I assume for a bit every other week.
Talking about in August.
Isn't August, September, fall?
Well, is it late August?
I think it's mid-August into
August into fall.
Yeah, sorry, August into fall.
Okay.
I was gonna say because isn't the summer supposed to be like June, July, August?
Yeah, I thought it was still in August. Yeah,
into fall.
Yeah,
into fall. Okay. Zeus Fleming just found out my 24-year-old son is having a baby girl. Amazing. They want a cool comic pop culture name. Suggestions outside the norm. Oh man, don't ask me.
Oh, that's stakes. It's just a name.
Yeah.
Kara or Kara, whichever you like. That's a fun one to throw in there. Is your child black? You can name her Roro. I don't know.
Don't take a shot. The DX Batman.
Stop that.
That's right. Power Girl rumors are that Kendra Sunderland could play the role. Is that for Wonder Woman?
Power Girl is essentially another version of Supergirl, just with the tatas, the thing that the Koi said everybody's scared of.
Multiversal power, Supergirl, Power Girl, sometimes clone, but usually multiversal.
I see why they said Kendra. I just Googled this person. I see why they said Kendra.
I don't know that. It's all right. Jesus Fernandez. Greetings. Do we know what state the DC cities are? Like Metropolis, Gotham, Star City, Coast City. Are they existing states or also fictional?
So there's a really tricky thing where they got put in an RPG book because when you're doing like role-playing games, you have to have it be tangible. But like canonically, that became canon. But I think there's a lot of writers that are like they're fictional. There aren't in those states, but because they're in these books from the 70s, they are technically. So it's a kind of who you ask question.
Fair enough. Hold on. Do we know yada yada yada? The Superman hype has me in a very DC mood. I haven't read comics since Rebirth, so anything you might recommend?
For Superman, I love Rebirth. I would also recommend what's it called? For All Seasons, I would recommend All-Star Superman. I would recommend Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow. I'd recommend Superman Up in the Sky. Those are all great.
This is from the Cali Kid. Superman is the best DC movie of all time, in my opinion. I wouldn't share that opinion, but I'm glad you have it.
Of all time, no. And is that supposed to be Superman, the movie from the very first one?
He's saying Superman.
No. I understand. I'm being cheeky. I would disagree. I'm putting The Dark Knight up there. I'm putting The Batman up there.
Suicide Squad over it.
Suicide Squad. This is very good. I still think this is a very good movie personally, but I do not personally agree.
It's a good movie. It's like to me it doesn't even. It's like my fourth favorite Superman film. Ralph Royd Design Company. Hey, Coy and Winston, like the Superman movie. I love seeing positivity. It's crazy what the box office takes are. Like Campbell saying the results are what DC needed, and Roca saying it was a box office failure. Well, it definitely wasn't a box office failure. I've been battling Roca on that on Mondays. Anyway,
he says it's a failure if it doesn't clear 750.
He's wrong. And he's also wrong because the other thing that we didn't that we haven't talked about enough is that Warner Brothers as a whole is a business. So they're having a tremendous 2025. So when you look at Minecraft and all these other, they have
Sinners,
they have all these movies that have made profit. It all comes back. And so when you have a movie that also, let's say breaks even, say the movie breaks even, the other movie's made a profit. So Warner Brothers is making a profit overall. It didn't lose money on it and everything. Okay, look at cancel that, put this.
It's enough for us. People are excited about it in general. Our fan base is excited. If the fan base wasn't excited, if it lost money, then it's a problem. Now, look, they probably, of course, wanted it to be a massive, huge success, but it was not a box office failure. That is incorrect. And I also would, but I guess I would agree with Campia that the results are what DC needed as far as overall encouragement in the brand. Joel Familia, the Jor-El motivation change would make Zod's arrival more impactful, equivalent to Raditz in Dragon Ball.
I can see that. I mean, it definitely, it was mentioned earlier, this ties more to an old school Goku mentality of Goku was programmed to come, take over, destroy the earth, hit his head, lost the programming. All of a sudden, his relatives that are still alive or his people that are still alive are like, bro, why aren't you out here killing and conquering? So, interesting.
Armada. If Soup's parents wanted him to take over the world, my question is, why did they give him that costume? Was it supposed to be deceiving? Even Supergirl has the same suit.
Well, we don't have anything about like the S stands for hope or anything in this movie. Like that's not a factor. So it's just like he's wearing it and he wants to, make sure kids aren't scared of him. So it's bright and vibrant and all those things. So we also don't know where the suit came from.
Also, I know he wearing red and blue between her, the Crips and the Bloods. Like they out here and he like taking over the streets in red and in blue. So like,
I don't know.
His yellow Latin kings, like what's
Christian's like, I'm staying out of this. I don't want none of this.
WB Freak, do you have for you comics recommendations that is kind of like Stephen King? Reading so I can
reading Tin Can Society. There was a C he missed.
Okay. So it made me think of the two phases of the Looser Club from it.
I'm so glad I'm reading Tin Can Society because that would have been hard to translate. I see the C you missed. I think Stephen King's it. His son, Joe Hill, writes comics. So if you want to check out any of the Joe Hill stuff at DC, highly recommend it. It's like this Hill House imprint. And it's very Stephen King. Tin Can Society is also great. But yeah, I'd check out some Joe Hill stuff. Also, check out anything from James Tynion and the Fourth. He's got very Stephen King sensibilities.
Cool dude Kyle. What's up, Kyle? First time super chat. Thank you so much, sir. Really thinking a lot about Schnepp, the King of Sweaties, the best, and what he would think about Superman and Fantastic Four. Miss him. Same here. I think he would have loved Superman.
I think so too. Yeah. I also know he'd love Fantastic Four coming out 2 weeks later. Like he'd be so stoked for this summer in particular.
Yeah, 100%. And he probably would be taking a big dump all over Jurassic World. Coy, in your I Know What You Did Last Summer reaction with Roxy, what movie were you thinking of for Freddie Prinze Jr. when you said American Pie?
I was thinking She's All That. It's the same summer and the same tone.
I was going to say that's a completely different movie, but I was thinking American Beauty, which
that's very, very different.
Obviously, American Pie is rated R. She's All That isn't, but that
it's in the same neighborhood.
So I apologize. Freddie Prinze from She's All That and Wing Commander.
Yeah. Still more people saying David Cornswet should be Indiana Jones. Please stop casting things. Child Esh NH. Predictions for the final box office for July movies. After now knowing how Superman and Jurassic World did with openings, you think Fantastic Four will play better internationally? It'll play better internationally than Superman. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it'll definitely play better internationally. I mean, if Rebirth is already at 550 and Superman is already at 310, I mean, we'll probably look at I think maybe $1.8 billion for July.
I think Jurassic World will do what I initially thought it was. It's gonna be the winner out of the three. Unless Fantastic Four just has a monster worldwide. But the thing with Fantastic Four that it has outside of those two movies, outside like Naked Gun, it's got no massive movie coming out on its
August is pretty open. It's going to have a long tail.
Yeah.
If people like it, word of mouth's going to help it.
Yes. Agreed.
Yeah.
The John DX Dragon, the Jor-El message is great. Perfectly explains why Zod is the way he is when we do get him in the future. Excited for Supergirl's film / her story. Will the sequel be a team up with the two? Maybe that's what he's working on. What do you think, Winston?
I don't necessarily hate that idea, especially if you end up with, the growth that Kara goes through. If now all of a sudden she's more willing to work with her cousin because she's learned some lessons and all that kind of stuff, it could be interesting. I also think that I've been itching Like my skin itches waiting for Brainiac. So I don't care what, however we're doing it, whether it's a sequel, a team up with the two of them. I just need Brainiac in my life. I do.
All right. Mike Joyce.
Are we close?
You're at 70.
Okay.
With about 12 minutes left, you got to have a serious run here. You got to have a serious run. Coy, pay no mind to the haters. Most of them aren't smart enough to think for themselves and need people to tell them what to think. Here you go, Mike.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Mike.
Carlos, another member here. Hey, Coy, are you still going to be on the DC showcase now that Superman is at theaters? Yeah, he said it with Peacemaker. Mike Joyce. Adrian Padalecki for Wonder Woman. Good TV actress. How old is Adrian Padalecki now?
She played Wonder Woman before, but 15 years ago.
Nah, so she's not. She didn't. Oh, yeah, but that never aired though, right?
No. I'm just saying she has played her.
I just think she's I'd like to see her in the movie. She's 42 right now, and that's not necessarily. I mean, look, depends on what version they're going to go with. She's gorgeous. But are they going to sign her for 10, 15 years? Do they want? I mean, I don't know, but they could. They could.
We would need to know that she is just from the standpoint of, like you said, 10 to 15 years, and Diana is supposed to be ageless.
Right.
She's not going to change for the next 10 years.
I don't think they would do that. Unknown D5512. Hey guys, I slightly disagree with Alan being too big for Bats. Usually the two next to each other, they have similar builds, and I wouldn't mind being Bats a little bit bigger. Hopefully who they cast fits what James is looking for. That's a fair point. But I just feel like Superman needs to be like the bigger dude. I like the fact that Batman's smaller and has to rely on his tech.
I like Jim Lee drawing them both like huge guys, but I think in our reality, seeing that big of a Bruce Wayne would be like, well, that's Batman.
But
right.
it's also because Richardson is much bigger than Corn. Like Corn Sweat got Jack for the role, but Richardson is like rock level big.
He's a monster. Yeah. Mr. Dave 2K. Gunn also said that Superman is very important in his next film, but is not a direct Superman sequel. That's what I was referring to before. Will not be world's finest or BVS. I mean,
I hope not.
I hope not. I mean, I think they're going to build it out, but I think they got to get Wonder Woman and they got to get Batman out there first. So you're probably not going to see the next one for like 4 years anyway, at least.
I could also see Gunn now taking a step back, letting the universe build out with him guiding it, and then maybe he wants to do the first Justice League movie down the line in like 5 or 6 years.
I still hope it's a Mr. Terrific sequel and then Superman's in it to set up things, but I want Mr. Terrific spinoff yesterday.
Yeah. I'd like to see, I mean, they mentioned television. I'd like to see, I think Mr. Terrific movie might, I mean, depending on what the budget is, but I don't know if that's a $100 million movie. I think a TV show I'd love to see. Go Pal. It's like Cumberbatch said, all you need is a good coat and a short friend. He and Pal are 6 foot even, but seem really tall next to Freeman and Sweeney. True. Childish NH. Seems like superhero movies haven't been hitting in China post-COVID like they did before. That's very true. If Thunderbolts had made an additional 60 or 75 from China, it would be similar to Ant-Man 2016. Yeah, I don't know. They've kind of given up on it, I think, over there.
I mean, it's also very possible that, there's been a big push for China's Hollywood. Again, the first and only billion-dollar movie until Lilo and Stitch was the movie out of China, Nezha 2. I'm not familiar with
that one. Yeah.
But I think, like, not to go into a whole political discussion, I think the fact that America and China are kind of stuck in a big trade war thing, that's also a thing to kind of stick it to us, is to maybe not support as many American movies or not push them as much in China. So who knows?
It's Rafts. How does Roka feel about Gunn and Rick and Morty? He loved it. He said it was really funny.
It was hysterical.
Coy will not know this reference. Winston will once I remind him, but where's my fucking beer? It's from Max King in Grasping at Straws.
Yes.
Coy didn't respond when I sent it to him. But it was but Max King was great. Mark Franco.
Kristian sent it peak Superman press week, and I was like, I can't wait to watch this later. And
you didn't have a moment where you needed to take like a quick break and like have some water or
Dude, I've been sending emails on the crap. I've been so busy that I've been getting all my like logistical work done while pooping.
And I guess it's a good thing we didn't need to go to whatever that con was anymore. Shit, bro.
Seriously. And I'm going to Comic-Con Wednesday. Like and I'm doing Fantastic Four Monday. Like I'm screwed.
There's Comic-Con. Someone actually just texted me while I was in the middle. So you going to Comic-Con? My response, nah. Trey Porter.
1 out of 2. Went to the Wu-Tang concert last night.
Nice.
It was a great show. Run the Jewels kicked ass. I'm so happy to hear it. And Lauryn Hill. Oh wow. And Mary J. Blige.
Wow.
Parents made the crowd went ape. That's great.
Dude,
Yeah.
Lauryn Hill, Mary J. Blige. That's incredible.
Mary J out here.
Yeah, that's right. Wait, but Mary J. Blige had to have sung with Method Man.
Of
They do
course.
that.
Had to have, right?
Had
Of
to.
course.
Legend MM600. Coy Rocks. Glad you're back, dude. Love you guys. Thank you.
You're just saying that because your facial hair.
That's right. Trey Porter also says it was also a sight to see the crossover in racial demographics that the Woo have developed in the 30 plus years have been out. Absolutely. Everyone came out for the Woo, but then again, they're for the children after all.
The Woo is indeed for the children.
Hilarious. Armada.
I'm so jealous.
I hope you guys listened to the new Eclipse album. It's incredible.
Not the whole thing, but Chains and Whips is so
Good.
good. Dude,
Chains and Whips is incredible. Like Kendrick's verse
like
of
the
Chains
whole
and Whips is
thing,
like-
but Kendrick's verse, oh my god!
The album's great, dude. But I mean, as a Kendrick dude, hearing that and keeping up, like it's special.
What did all G words for like the whole back half of the? Oh my
Dude,
god!
Kaleidoscope, the opening referencing to Pimp a Butterfly, and then him referencing lines from a Pimp a Butterfly because a kaleidoscope is a group of butterflies.
There you go. Paul Hitchcock. Sounds like Christian's echoing Cube's advice to Dre. Hey, yo, gun, stick to producing. Only for now. I think he's, again, I think he just, for his own, able to, obviously, if he wasn't producing the whole damn thing and running the whole thing, but yeah, go direct another one, write another one.
If we knew that Safran was actually doing more of the heavy lifting of running the studio, and then Gunn still was, but he was letting him do that, then maybe. But it seems like Safran's kind of handling a lot more of the business side of things, whereas Gunn is pushing stuff. So yeah, I think you gotta. It is what it is.
Yeah. Let's see. Armada. So Cameron is not going to be tired enough after doing all the Avatar films to direct a World War II movie. What do you guys think about that? Is there a World War II movie he's doing next?
I hadn't heard that.
I haven't heard that one yet, too. But I mean, I never doubt anything James Cameron says. Anything
He'll do it if he says it, and he'll make $1 billion.
Yeah, you never bet against Cameron ever. Armada, I like the take on Superman by Red Letter. They said that he is more of a Moses figure than Jesus. Seemed like Man of Steel made Supes more like a Jesus figure. Yeah, I saw that more so in Man of Steel for sure.
I mean, he's a Jewish character written by Jewish writers, and like the boat from Krypton is like the boat floating down the river. Like it is a much more that metaphor.
Armada, can we get Jabba saying I'm an action star? Yeah, sure. Perfect, Jabba. Thank you. Kenny Pink 5422. Henry Cavill should be Captain Atom in the DCU.
Oh, interesting.
They're not gonna ever putting him in there. It's just like it'd be so strange. I think he's got to appear in Marvel.
It would, but if you got Momoa to come back, if Cavill's okay with it, then
yeah. This is a different conversation than we had the other day. I'll tell you guys the conversation we had the other day. But Mr. Universal Boom says John Bernthal's Frank versus Frank Grillo's Rick. Now, in this circumstance, John Bernthal's Frank wins. In real life, Frank Grillo wins.
Yeah,
100%. Like that is, and what I love is before they cast Bernthal, Frank Grillo was my dream Punisher, and then they cast.
He would.
Wait, they just got Punisher. But in real life, Frank Grillo the man can fight.
Isn't he pretty much Punisher in the in those what the hell
Purge movies?
Yes, right.
I haven't seen them, but clips I've seen. Yeah.
And which movies?
The Purge.
Yeah, dude. Oh my God.
Miguel ZP5UN. DCU Dreamcasting. Lakeith Stanfield as the Question. Taron Egerton as Animal Man. I know neither one of those characters.
I mean, I would rock with both of those. I'm pulling for Egerton to still be Wolverine at some point. So
I like both those dudes, and I love both those characters. Yes.
Okay. Lauren L6569. Coy Gunn from St. Louis, not Mississippi. Mix them up in a review.
I mentioned that I'm from Virginia and that I moved to the city and I identify Smallville to Metropolis. I mistakenly said Mississippi. I meant to say Missouri because he's from STL, Missouri. I apologize to Mississippians or Missourians.
There you go. American Beauty. Gopal. I remember being amused from the Arrowverse that they had Star City, National City, Metropolis, Gotham City, and Detroit, home of Vixen.
And Detroit.
And Detroit. Sorry. Nathan Drake. I think Coy has seen this, but Green Lantern Beware My Power is a great animated movie and a good intro to Jon Stewart. Also has Adam Strange.
Yeah, it's a great one. And the animated stuff's a great way if you don't like reading physical comics to learn these characters. And a lot of them are on HBO right now.
Go Pal. Oh, and it's a different Go Pal. Go Pal. Supergirl gave me major Avril Lavigne vibes. Really?
I can see that, like the kind of the punk rock, like I could see it.
Is she punk rock? She's more alternative, isn't she?
Like alternative punk.
Yeah.
She's a skater girl. She said, "See you later, girl."
Skater, yeah. I am too fly Cam. Anyway, we get Nightwing cast before the Batman 2 comes out. I really think we should meet Bruce's true son before Damian. Lantern seems promising.
Well,
yeah, I think it's just going to go the same thing that Gunn said. Let's see what scripts are done first.
And I also, if we're doing now, you're mixing the Batman with again the DCU and the Brave and the Bold type scenario. I mean, we are supposedly getting dynamic duo with Dick and Jason, so I think just lean on that and hopefully that ties in. Otherwise, I don't know.
I'd expect some bad family news.
Mild mannered comic nerd. Hey guys, have you ever read Superman Earth 1, Volume 1 and Volume 2? The new Superman movie did give me that vibe. Thanks.
I would say coy.
I love Earth 1. I think Green Lantern Earth 1's a little even better. I really like Green Lantern Earth 1. I like Superman Earth 1, but it definitely is that like not quite year 1 story going into year 2, in this case year 3. I totally agree. It's a good and it's a really good read.
They said that James Cameron's in their Hiroshima. I did hear that.
Oh, right. I did hear that. I didn't connect that to yes.
No, I am too like Cam. Coy, are you going to audition for Wally West? And what's your favorite DC movie? My favorite DC movie. I mean, I think that I would still say Dark Knight's probably my favorite DC movie.
If I was going to audition to be for Green Arrow, but I think Dark Knight as well. Still, I mean, Dark Knight's a 5-star film for me. I don't have a lot of those.
Dark Knight by a mile, and I like other ones, but it's so good.
Yeah, me too. JR Diaz, what's up, man? What's up, guys? Just a little rant. Why did everyone expect Superman to have a big box office? Character never broke records, never translated overseas either. I think what it's doing right now is fine. I think the answer to that, dude, is because yes, traditionally you're right. You're 100% right that it hasn't traditionally been big box office, but the internet does things to your head. And when you see the trailers and you see the reaction and again, when you're in any space all the time, you feel like what everyone's talking about in your space is what everyone is talking about. And it's never the case. But there was a lot of hype for this movie. Clearly, it still did very well because there was enough to get the big problem in movies in general. It's hard to get people into movie theaters. So the fact that they got people into the theater that wasn't just a kids movie was good news. It just, I didn't have that. I was telling people, I had quite a few people on this show say Superman was going to hit $1 billion, and I said that's going to be very unlikely because of what you're saying. But guys, what do you think?
I was hoping it would hit $1 billion. I didn't have comps for the present in mind. I still was thinking about things from like pre-pandemic, and more movies were then. And also, like there's very little on my algorithm that isn't Superman because I say it so much. I'm plugged into that world way more. But I do think everyone's happy with what it's doing. That had the expectations that were based on fact, not on hype. I'm excited because the team seems excited.
I'm sorry. I just got tagged on this thing. The state of where media is today is pretty disgusting. No, just like with the junkets. Did you see the one junket where the woman asked, the influencer asked Vanessa Kirby about her resting see you next Tuesday face?
They called it a resting face and not a resting bitch face.
Something about something like that. I don't know if it was resting, but something about having a see you next Tuesday face. And then Pedro Pascal is just like, no, it's a good thing. And she's like, what? And then there's this new thing where this guy's asking these ridiculous questions.
If he's going to be, if he thinks he's the first daddy.
What are you doing? What are you doing? It's like, the fact that any one of us or our friends that would sit down and actually have real conversations, and these are the people that are getting invited to these things. I don't get it.
I don't. Those do numbers, man.
But this is the kind of press you get on it.
I know, and it's disgusting. And then if you bring it up, then people get mad at you for bringing it up at the studio level. It's just awful.
It sucks because I think about all the incredible questions real questions I spent time like crafting and asking and all.
I gave up. I'm even trying. I was doing interviews for you guys. Saw I was doing a big push in this channel to do interviews, and I'm like reaching out to certain people, and I'm like, I'll go to where I have to go, and I'm not getting them, and I'm like, that's it.
That was the dream for me. Like that's why I do all of this stuff. But the more that fades, the more the excitement for this fades, which means like new career.
Francisco Montez. What I love about Superman is how the story unfolds with each passing day. It felt welcoming and inviting. That's totally fair. I think a lot of people felt that way. Edit the movies. The Capes crew is whole again. Happy Friday. Oh, that's right. Back. Avril is more pop punk than real alternative. Fair enough, says Go Pal. 77 as we get towards the end here. Joe for show. You think Bizarro will show up in the next 3 DC movies? I can't freaking wait for the Lobo promo for Supergirl. I'm looking forward to Lobo, to be honest.
Lobo's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Bizarro, eventually.
I wouldn't say next 3.
No, but eventually.
Now, this is why I love Eric Slaby, our great. He's in here every day asking us questions, but clearly he came in just to support and he didn't watch the show today because he wrote, "Did you guys see the Josh Hartwitz?"
At the end of our questions.
He clearly came in to ask a question, which was very nice. But
Thanks,
Eric, we did about 30 minutes watching the interview today.
You can watch reactions.
Oh my God. Eric Slaby just did a me sometimes during the show.
No, not necessarily, because we can't confirm that he was actually there watching.
Also fair. That's true.
James Gunn dropped some new bits, including the Batman will not be in the DCU. Yep, we covered it. Also, both Batman films will not be released in the same year. Yep, we covered it. So
thanks, Eric.
Thank you, Eric. It's always really kind of you. But yes, we did about 30 minutes of that. Last one for now. Eric Slaby, what DCU film is Gunn likely writing?
I'm hoping for Terrific, man, because he likes to write off things he just wrote. Like he likes to I found a love of this character. I don't know if that's likely, but that's what I'm hoping.
Or the question. Now you've got that buried in my head. I think that would be a really
interesting,
fun project to do. The question is very Christian. Easiest way to describe the question: think Rorschach from Watchmen. Same thing, not quite as violent, but the same level of I'm doing this private eye detective work. I'm in your face. Blah blah blah.
Eric Slaby, my bad. Just got out of some meetings.
Favorite combo today.
Nathan Drake. I think every Supes movie besides Superman Returns did better internationally than domestic. Man of Steel did 379 million international and 291 domestic. That's interesting.
I think we're in a different place with the geopolitical landscape and the movie landscape than we were ever.
Yeah, I agree. All right, 80. Pretty damn good, guys. Don't touch Roka on this one. Roka wins the week. Pretty excited with John Roka. He was hanging back. He won 2 out of the last 3. So big win here for John Roka, but the Capes guys fought tough. Coy, where can they find you?
You can find me on my YouTube at Coy Jandra. We're at 48.9K. We are so close to 50K, you lovelies. When we do 50K, I'm going to do a 50 comic giveaway. So please join me over there. Everyone that subscribes is going to be eligible for 50 of my comic books. Also, you can find me on Instagram and yes, TikTok. I'm reluctantly, temporarily back on socials a bit more. You can find me at Comic-Con from Thursday through Sunday. I'll be reporting for the Hollywood Reporter Thursday, Friday. Lots of clips. I've got 15 interviews over those 2 days, so you can expect a lot of stuff there. And then you can also expect me doing some DC stuff on Saturday. Find me in the Hall H panel for Peacemaker. I'll be there all weekend.
So we just got a confirmation. Coy will not be on the show next week. Go ahead, Winston.
YouTube.com/theswaggy. I just feel like my dad keeps going to get milk and just isn't coming home.
It's July. It's the craziest.
Nah, it's fine. It's fine. YouTube.com/theswaggy blurred. Either tomorrow or Monday. Check out my Fantastic Four theory video. I will be covering Fantastic Four obviously next week when it's out. Spill the tequila with Roka here with Christian and with Christian. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I'll be here every week in August.
All right. Do you guys think we'll get a new James Bond name? I mean, eventually, so not anytime soon.
I thought they were going to name him
rename Bond.
Hi, Jimmy Bond, my cousin.
You know what we didn't even do? We usually always do, and maybe this is a me thing, or maybe it's just not the hype behind it, but we usually always do a preview to what Comic-Con's gonna show me. I guess we can do that. I mean, by Friday Winston will probably have some news and stuff and trailers and things that have dropped, but we didn't even I guess quickly, obviously DC, Coy, you guys are doing a bunch of stuff there. Probably, but What are we gonna see? Doomsday stuff? What do you think we're gonna see?
I wouldn't be surprised if there's even a teaser or a trailer, but maybe like a little, since they've been filming, maybe a quick like 2-minute, 3-minute scene just to get people hype. Because I think you want
the Spider-Man thing too.
Are you saying just release it online? Because they're not going.
No. And just in that, because usually in the Marvel panel they show like big things at Comic-Con, but like
I don't think they're having a panel.
They're not even having a panel this year. Wow. Okay. So DC, this shows you how tuned into it
Yeah,
I am.
yeah. Like DC has Peacemaker. I know Universal has Bad Boys 2 and Five Nights at Freddy's.
The bad guys.
Bad Guys, not Bad Boys 2. That was 10 years ago, 20 years ago. The Bad Guys 2. Will Smith still singing. But I think studio-wise, like those are the big panels as far as film. It's not as film heavy this year.
Wow. He said they're doing a Marvel TV panel. Interesting. Okay. Well, we'll see what it is. Maybe that's why we haven't been covered. There's no like a big no big hype behind it. But either way, guys, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found. We are on the Clips channel. You can find the whole show there if you missed it. So Eric Slaby, go back and watch the whole James Gunn thing on the Clips channel. So head on over there. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you to Coy. Thank you to Winston. Unlike Coy, you guys have watched Grasping at Straws, and I appreciate that. You can go and check it out. We're getting closer and closer to having news soon about the new show. I'll let you know. I should have something hopefully with the next couple of weeks. But thanks again, guys. Appreciate you. Bye.